Hello, Internet, and welcome to the C Show. We haven't done one of these in a while, because to be honest, when I talk about wrestling, I either get very happy or very angry, or I just can't be arsed, because wrestling's one of them things that I like a lot, and I can get very passionate about. And that, and we've just been lazy. But we wanted to talk about this because the entirety of the internet wrestling community went insane after this pay-per-view, which is Summerslam. And we're going to go through it. We're going to give our opinions. And for those that haven't watched SummerSlam, go and watch it. I'm Riddler, by the way.
I would still say it's really, regardless of the result of one particular event at the end, it's still worth watching.
We get there when we get there. It was a pretty good pay-per-view.
We get there when we get there.
Shit, but it made sense.
I'm Riddler. My two co-hosts, Rocktan and Ali. Ali, because of your voice, you talk when you don't have to talk, but if you want to chime in, give your opinion, you are more than welcome to.
I sat down and watched the whole thing for once, so I do have opinions on it. It's just I'm sick and fuck off. No.
Yeah, you chime in whenever you want, man. It's okay. It's cool. So we're live from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. This is I think this is the fourth or fifth time it's SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said is like, I was like kind of, that just made me question things. I was like, so you hold it in the same place 5 years in a row. Why? I don't know why they wouldn't like change it around and have the location variety. Someone said, well, there is one thing about SummerSlam. There's only a few places that you could really hold it that actually fit the theme of summer.
That's very true. There's very few places you can hold it that fit that theme. And I mean, I don't mind them holding a pay-per-view in one area. I mean, look what they did at the early years of WrestleMania and all their pay-per-views. It was always in Madison Square Garden, and then they started changing things up. Yeah.
Actually, someone mentioned that most of the previous pay-per-views this year have actually been held in New York, in MetLife, apparently.
Huh. Did not know that.
Or at least in the New York, New Jersey thing, or whatever.
But we're kicked off with he welcomes us to the pre. Did anybody see the pre-show? Because I saw the pre-show.
I caught the end of it.
We can skip the pre-show then if you want.
Honestly.
Let's talk about the pre-show because I mean, it was a match that like had the potential to be really good.
It did. Josh Matthews welcomes us to SummerSlam to kick off the pre-show, and fans are still filing in as he hypes up tonight's card. He's joined by Booker T, Shawn Michaels, and Vicky Guerrero. That made.
Shawn Michaels looking like a hobo, by the way.
Shawn Michaels has grown a mighty beard.
Actually, it made sense considering she was there at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah. Also, honestly, he kind of looks like Ted Nugent now. So.
I'm wondering if
yes, exactly.
He does look like Ted Nugent now. Yeah. I'm wondering if he grew that beard because he's such a fan of Debray, or because he's just gotten lazy. He lives on a ranch and fuck it, I want to grow a beard.
Instead of coming out to his normal theme song, the next time he comes out, he's going to come out the Cat Scratch Fever.
No, I love Shawn Michaels. No matter how bad he looks.
Cat Scratch Fever goes.
I know, but I'm just saying, he comes out to like hobo, like southern music. But I know. No, however Shawn Michaels looks, whether he looks like a hobo, whether he looks like Shawn Michaels, or whether he decides to come out in blackface for some random reason. It's Shawn Michaels, and he's still my favorite wrestler of all time. You know.
Oh, I've got Combine Harvest.
It's Shawn Michaels. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. There's no way I can hate the guy. I mean, I liked him even when he was a heel and dicking people over backstage. So
I recommend him not keeping the hobo look. That's all.
I would recommend he doesn't keep the hobo look, though. So that beard, it's off-putting for Shawn Michaels. HBK says not much brings him out of his house in Texas, but SummerSlam in LA does it. And he's most looking forward to D-Bry versus John Cena. Booker is looking forward to Kane versus Bray Wyatt the most. And Vicky's looking forward to Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. HBK talks about how Bray has an uphill battle and says we will find out what he's made of. And Matthew talks about RVD versus Dean Ambrose for the United States title and how we see how RVD earned this shot. And they talk about the Shield and RVD returning to the WWE. Now, a lot of people had problems with this match being on the pre-show. They thought that Dean Ambrose versus RVD deserved to be actually on the pay-per-view, not on the pre-show.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It kind of did. To be honest, out of all of the matches, I think the Diva match should have been on the pre-show. I'm sorry to say that the women matches are pointless, but they're kind of pointless.
They are pointless. The WWE has made them pointless. We go.
And especially considering it's a title match. I mean, that's another. But in general, it sounds like a really good match, and I get what they're trying to do with the pre-show. I think the idea behind the pre-show is to give you an exciting match to entice you to buy the pay-per-view.
I was going to say it would probably give you some
really
incentive to watch the pay-per-view, but the ending kind of
The ending was complete utter bullshit. I think the thing is that I get that, but you're actually, in a way, to me, at least it kind of makes you feel like this match wasn't good enough to be on our pay-per-view.
Also, considering Rob Van Dam's age and shit, I kind of predicted that he wouldn't win. So
yeah. We go to the social media command center with Renee Young, and she's saying, send in your tweets, touts, everything, blah, blah, blah. They love social media at WWE. Then we get a video. This is when they go through all the video packages and hype up all the matches. We get a video for Punk versus Lesnar, and then we go live to Paul Heyman.
But they showed another one later.
They do. They go live to Paul Heyman, who's backstage. He talks about the match. He compares it to David versus Goliath. And that's my best Heyman right there. I suck at Paul Heyman.
Versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath. And Heyman announces that the match will now be under no DQ rules, and both men have agreed to it.
I had a bad
awesome.
feeling.
All he was saying, I don't know why he didn't know why Paul Heyman always puts emphasis on Brock's name.
Brock!
Because it was just
he always goes, Brock Lesnar.
It was just you're going to be put in a match against CM Punk, against Brock Lesnar.
Have you guys heard that soundboard that they had Paul Heyman do where he did a bunch of movie quotes?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. I need to find that and link you to it.
It just seems like the only words that he just puts a shit ton of emphasis on is just when he says Brock Lesnar. This is my wife, Sherry, and this is my friend, Brock
Lesnar. We go to Tony Dawson, who is interviewing fans from overseas. And then they air a promo for Total Divas, which I don't care about. But it's apparently been popular enough to warrant a second season, so.
I don't. That is just really fucking sad.
That show, I watched that one episode of that show. It was shit.
It's warranted enough popularity and views to get a second season. It's getting.
I was gonna say, I think it justifies my reason for not hanging around women much.
Apparently, Cena and Bryan has been on the show.
Oh, okay. They talk about Brie Bella versus Natalia. Then we get a video for AJ Lee and Biggie versus Caitlyn and Dolph Ziggler. And we get more from Renee Young. More promo videos. We get a promo for Debray versus Cena. HBK says Bryan has what it takes to become WWE champion. He respects Cena, but he's biased and he's rooting for Bryan. Booker says it's perfect time.
Booker says Booker says that it's not Debray.
I don't know why, but they really wanted you to buy some fucking Doritos during this pay-per-view. It was everywhere.
Hello?
Oh, sorry.
I was just talking about the fact that they really wanted you to buy some Doritos. Like, it was fucking everywhere. They really wanted you to buy some fucking Doritos.
To be honest, though, I was hungry for Doritos after that. So they did their job.
We want you to get fat on Doritos.
Oh.
Well, I like Doritos, but after seeing this guy eat Doritos after being crushed by a fat guy, I just didn't want Doritos anymore.
HBK says if it's not tonight, Bryan's time will come. And Vicky says she doesn't trust Triple H when it comes to being the special referee.
Was there a lady in the car with me?
Oh, go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead. Okay.
No, I like heard something in the background. That's all I'm saying.
It was just talking to somebody. My mom.
It was probably just his mom.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom. I was going to say, who would have thought that Vicky Guerrero would have managed to predict what would have happened? If there's anyone that I'm going to trust when it comes to predictions, it's not going to be Vicky Guerrero. But I think everyone and their mothers could predict Triple H being special referee was going to lead to shenanigans.
I swore in the commentary booth there was just a velociraptor. And, never.
And then, they get the Doritos Jacked promo before we go out to Tony Dawson interviewing fans outside the arena. We go to ringside where Michael Cole, JBL, and Jay Lawler are getting ready, and they hype up tonight's card. And then we go to the pre-show match, which is RVD versus Dean Ambrose for the United States title. This should have been on the pay-per-view. It ended bullshit, but it still should have been on the pay-per-view because the Divas match was just pointless. Completely pointless.
Yeah.
It's Dean Ambrose versus RVD. RVD, with his age, he's still got it.
He's looking better than he's looking way better than he has been in TNA, and I think one, he's gotten back into better wrestling shape, and two, he's not wrestling washed up guys.
He's not wrestling in TNA where nobody gives a fuck, you know.
I was just gonna say TNA got really depressing.
TNA's gotten really depressing. It really has.
I've heard so many people say that TNA is it's on its last legs.
It really is.
It's gonna die at some point.
It really is, dude. When they let go, the amount of people that they let go, and when they're in the state that they're in, dude, they're gonna go soon. It's honestly, it's honestly, I don't know if it's worse than WCW in 2000 or if it's getting there, but it's on that path.
It's pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn close to WCW when it was on its last legs. It's just that depressing. It's just like, oh my god, I can't even watch this because it's just sad. It's just sad and it's awful. But no, RVD versus Dean Ambrose.
Speaking of which, I forget which match it was. There was actually someone with a sign in the crowd that said "Shaking Up Dixie."
That's not as bad as the guy.
It's Smartened Up Dixie.
When I said that, someone in the forums actually said, "When WWE puts on pay-per-views like this doesn't make you want to cry in a corner. Ask Dixie. Hashtag Ask Dixie.
It's not as bad as that person in the crowd who wore a "I'm a Chris Benoit guy" shirt.
Oh no!
Do you remember that guy? That was
I didn't see at SummerSlam.
No, it wasn't at SummerSlam, but I still remember that. I don't know where he got that shirt. I'm a Chris Benoit guy.
I don't remember that.
There's a picture of it somewhere. I'll need to find it. Yeah.
I remember when we reviewed. I think it might have actually been SummerSlam last year.
I know, with the signs and that.
But if you were, no, it was April. It was like the April 14th Raw of last year, and there were three guys in the ring, all with signs that one guy had a sign that said, I'm with Owen Hart, arrows pointing up. The guy next to him, I'm with Benoit, arrows pointing down. A guy behind them that said, sorry, Canada.
Yeah. No, there's the dude that wore I'm a Chris Benoit guy shirt. That was terrible. But no, this match. Ambrose and RVD, they go back and forth. RVD is showing off a lot of his skill set. I thought he did not have any longer. He did a few clothesline super kick. He did the crossbody, got a 2 count for that. They have a back and forth in the corner. RVD slams Ambrose and goes for the split-legged moonsault, but Ambrose manages to get his knees up, gets a clothesline for a 2 count. RVD comes back with more offense. He goes to the top for the 5-star frog splash. Then the Shield's music hits, and out comes Rollins and Reigns through the crowd. Ambrose rolls out to the floor. Then Mark Henry's music hits, and he comes here to join RVD. Then Big Show's music hits, and then he comes out. It's just like a fucking episode of Jerry Springer, where it's like, no, my mama's here with me. Boop, out comes the mama. It's like, what the And then it's like, oh, but I got my sister here with me. And out comes the sister.
If you haven't been following, Mark Henry's been on a crusade to actually against the Shield ever since they attacked him, and then like on Raw, Big Show appeared. And basically, it was RVD was about to be attacked by the Shield, and then Mark Henry came, and then Big Show came. So
it was just like, whoa, all these people at once. What the fuck? Oh, whoa.
No, that's not what it was. It was a tag team RVD Mark Henry match, and then Big Show showed up.
Then we cut to a WWE 2K14 promo. I have pre-ordered it because I've gotten every wrestling game since SmackDown on the PS1. I may as well get this. I've been through the worst of the wrestling games. So the fact that 2K...
I for a long time didn't buy a wrestling game after like it was the very, very first SmackDown on PS1. I hated the hell out of it.
I've been through the worst. I'll wait until next year to see how good 2K can do, but I'll still get this.
I didn't start buying wrestling games again until like SmackDown 2007, and then I stopped again after 2008.
Which was a good idea, because 08 was bad. God.
Also, like Riddler, I played most of the wrestling games, but I adopted a policy of skipping one year, because there's never really enough changes between each year, so it's like every 2 years I'll get one.
The match is back on a show.
That whole system, I want to, sorry to interrupt, but that whole system on 08 where you had to like, the story mode or whatever they called it, I forget what it was called, but where you had to keep up with your wrestlers, the wrestler you selected, you keep up with their injuries. You had to send them to like press conferences and all this other bullshit. It's like, I don't care.
I don't know why, but every day on SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, I just sent him to the movies. I sent him to record a movie. So I imagine he just brought out a movie every day.
The match is back on a show, and Henry are outside of the ring, as well as Rollins and Reigns. Ambrose gets a 2 count, and they're going back and forth again. And then Show and Henry make sure Rollins and Reigns leave RVD alone. Ambrose comes out, but RVD counters with a suplex on the floor. He drops Ambrose onto the top of the barrier, goes to the apron, and he does the
he did the kick from the apron. Oh, you didn't, RVD, dude. That's the move that kills you every time you do it.
Yeah, he did the kick.
Why?
He goes up onto the apron. He does the RVD, shoulder points, hits a bit, and then he does the kick from the apron to Ambrose on the back. It was a good spot. He pulled it off. He did pull it off.
I'm not saying he can't pull it off. I'm just saying that's the move. I think of all the moves he does, that's the one that that's the one that really can do a lot of damage to.
Does he actually have a name for that? Because I know he usually calls his move Van something or other. So I don't know if he called that anything. Whether that was I don't know whether the commentary.
No, he didn't call it anything, but
it doesn't call it anything. Okay, they go back inside, and it's more back and forth. It was a very back and forth match, this, and Ambrose hits a spine buster for 2. And he comes back with more offense. He goes to the top and comes crashing down, but RVD moves. RVD goes for the frog splash, but goes to kick Rollins on the apron instead. Ambrose rolls RVD up from behind for a close 2 count. He runs into an elbow in the corner, Ambrose, and RVD comes back, does Rolling Thunder. He nails the frog splash, but then in comes Roman Reigns, hits the spear. RVD wins by DQ, but Ambrose, obviously because of WWE's rules, keeps the title. Shenanigans, Dean Ambrose retains the classic heel way of retaining your title.
Hey, I mean, it kind of bullshit, but it makes sense for the Shield.
Makes sense for the Shield, yes. It doesn't make sense for most of the time. In fact, I think that is the most bullshit way to end a title match is by DQ or count out. It is the most absolute bullshit way to end a title match. But
I mean, well, I guess it bothers me less if it's on TV.
Yeah.
But because you're not paying for it. But
yeah.
if you're doing it on a pay-per-view. I will say that though even though this is free, so I guess it's not as bad. It's the pre-show, but
pre-show, yeah. It's pay-per-view. You don't want to see this on pay-per-view. After the match, Show and Henry hit the ring, but the Shield escapes, and then the panelists talk about the match. HBK says RVD isn't done and has his eyes on the U.S. title. Don't know why anybody would have their eye on the U.S. title, to be honest with you, but that's just me.
Hey, I mean, honestly, if RVD wins the title, I would be okay with him winning the U.S. title, honestly, because the mid-card title would be fine for him.
Mm-hmm. Vicky's leaving the panel to go get ready for tonight, and then we go back to more social media. Tweet us, tout us.
One thing I wanted to mention that I still think is really cool about RVD personally is I'm not sure which match he did this against, but he still does this, and it's so effortlessly. It does still amaze me to this day. Is when he doesn't bother. He never really bothers to put his opponent in the correct position for a frog splash like he might see other wrestlers. He doesn't care. If you're across the ring and in an awkward position, he will still jump off, change direction in mid-air, and still hit you.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it is so cool every time he does that.
We then we see construction crews and members of the LA Fire Department setting up for the Ring of Fire match. I don't know why nobody got burnt in that match, but we get a promo for Kane versus Bray Wyatt.
Because it's not an Inferno match.
It's not an Inferno match. And what was the point of the Ring of Fire?
The point of the Ring of Fire was to keep the Wyatt guys out.
Oh, to keep the Wyatt guys out. Okay, because I was like, is this an Inferno match with a twist? What the fuck?
And I mean, Kane kind of clued in to. I didn't really think about it until they, stated the rules. Kane kind of clued in what he was really, why he wanted the Ring of Fire. He basically said, your family won't be able to save you.
Fair enough. We're live from the Stable Center as The Miz, who's still the whole effing pre-show, because he may as well have been on the pre-show. He kicks off the pay-per-view as being a host.
Oh, Miz. You've just become completely irrelevant.
What? Why are you still in this?
I mean, at least he's hosting a pay-per-view. This isn't as bad as when he used to host SmackDown and worse yet, Sunday Night Heat back in his early years.
Oh, God, I remember that. Summer Rae and Fandango end up coming out to dance on the stage as Miz welcomes us, and then we go to an open... What was the point of Fandango and Summer Rae coming out? What was the point of that?
They basically they had this bit the whole night where Miz and Fandango would have this little mini feud going between them.
Okay,
it's the whole night.
It's not going to do much for either of their careers, but okay. We are welcomed finally to the first match as Lillian Garcia introduces JoJo from Total Divas, and she sings the national anthem. I don't know.
And honestly, she was okay.
She was okay. For the amount of times I've heard your national anthem get butchered, it's like, you know what? Yeah, you did fine. Because for some reason, people just love to put their own twist on the national anthem and add syllables that shouldn't be there and sing it in a way that it shouldn't be sang, and it's just like, just sing it normal.
Or do all those, or some or those women singers that do that warbling and start taking the note and moving it everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then we get the Ring of Fire match, Kane versus Bray Wyatt. It was a decent opener. I'm just happy Bray Wyatt won. I honestly kind of wanted Kane to win.
I
wanted Bray Wyatt to win because as good as they've done this whole Wyatt family thing so far, the focus hasn't actually been on Bray Wyatt. I know there's the whole family and you need to kind of highlight each of them, but each stable has a leader. It's like the Shield, Dean Ambrose is the leader of the Shield. That's why he's, you need to kind of push him a bit more. And it's like with the NWO, you had Hollywood Hulk Hogan, so you pushed him a little bit more. And with the Flock, you had Raven, so you pushed Raven a little bit more. You need to, Bray Wyatt needs to be at the forefront of that stable. And the whole time we've just kind of been seeing Rowan and Harper. We've just kind of been seeing those guys, and Bray Wyatt's just kind of been given his promos, which are awesome, which are very good promos and very creepy, but he's not actually been at the kind of the forefront.
Bray Wyatt's promos are amazing.
Yes, they are amazing. He does give amazing promos, but he's not really been at the forefront of that stable, and I think he needed to win because of that. They need to push him a bit more. Just as the...
Honestly, well, this match wasn't horrible, and honestly, if I go with my heart, I'd say it was okay, but if I go with my head, it's kind of bad, honestly. It was, it wasn't, it's not like anything was botched or...
Nothing was botched. It
was done bad or done wrong. It just... It really wasn't, it was not, I have a hard time saying in my head that this was a good match.
I've never liked Inferno matches, and the only reason I compare this to Inferno matches is because similar to Inferno matches, whenever a big move is pulled off, you'll see the flames jump up and everyone's supposed to be like, oh my god, he could get burned. I've never liked Inferno matches because they are limited to such a small area, and for two big guys like this, that's not good. They need more room to move about and do the moves that they can. It was a good match. They managed to pull it off, yeah. But to have just this small little square for these two big dudes,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like considering Kane especially, that you expect him to not. In general, in most matches, you expect people to not stay inside the ring for the entire match. They're gonna get outside the ring and do something.
They're gonna get outside and do something at some point. Yes, exactly. And the problem with these matches that I only compare it to Inferno because of fire. The problem with Inferno matches and this match because of fire is they are limited to inside the ring, and there's only so much stuff you can do inside the ring. Eventually, in a match, someone goes outside and does something, whether it's take them to the barricade and do something there. Slam their head into the ring post. The step, the ring post, something.
The announce table.
Something. But when these two big guys are did they go to the corner at any point in this match? I don't think they even went to the corner because of the flames.
I think they did go to the corner. Because they put the fire far enough back so that they could at least go to the corners.
I was going to say, because I can't remember if it went to the corner or not, but if it did, fair enough, because I thought it was that limiting that they couldn't even go to the corners. I'm just saying it's just a big match. It was just a big match.
I'm just reading the recap, and Kane did hit a splash in the corner.
Oh, fair enough. They did go to the corners then, okay, fair enough. It's still a very restricting stipulation on the wrestlers. There's only so much you can do with that. And they did everything they could do with that. They teased people getting burned,
basically, the highlight of this match, honestly, was like every time the Rowan and Harper tried to get into the ring, the flames would kick up to prevent them from getting in.
The flames would kick up to prevent them from getting in.
And at one point, Rowan tried to hand him a kendo stick, and the flames actually managed to catch the kendo stick on fire. And I know the fireman had to come over and extinguish it.
And Harper.
And then Harper Harper grabbed the extinguisher.
Yeah.
And then he put out the fire, but it immediately came back.
I've never liked matches that include fire like this around the ring. It's creative. It's just very restricting, and the whole. It's a one and done kind of thing for me. It's like, oh, big move, the flames raised. Oh, they could get burnt, but they don't.
Yeah, and especially because the fire was roughly about a foot away from the actual ring.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it was a couple inches high unless they do the bumps.
It's like they could have easily walked over that and gone outside the ring. The Wyatt family, if it didn't raise up every time they tried to get in, could have easily climbed up the corners, the ring posts to get in.
And they could just lightly hop over them.
Or lightly hop over them if the flames didn't go up. But, whatever. The way the match comes to an end, Rowan and Harper, I don't know where I got that from. Rowan and Harper cover the flames with some kind of cloth and use the steel steps to get in the ring.
I think it was an asbestos blanket.
I don't know what it was. Probably asbestos blanket, some kind of fireproof blanket. And the Wyatt family beats Kane down as Bray recovers. Harper nails a big clothesline and follows up with a splash, and they help Bray up. He poses his arms out, Raven style. Bray taunts Kane as they hold him, and he kisses Kane on the forehead and nails his finisher, causing the flames to rise, and he covers for the pin. I do like that. It just kind of adds to his character that he just kisses him on the forehead before nailing his finisher.
It's called the Kiss of Death.
It's a good finisher. I like it.
Yeah, even though it's that finisher Mike Knox used, but whatever.
Yeah, he does it better than Mike Knox.
Yeah.
After the match,
it's not bad. It's just this is not a good position for him to debut in such a match that's restricting.
It's a restricting match. It's against Kane, and I get it that you're a stable, you want to prove yourself, you go after a big guy. Why not go after... I guess you couldn't go after Cena because of his feud with Debray. Couldn't you have involved The Undertaker in some way? Couldn't you have involved... It's not like you'd have had to have him wrestle. You could have just have him do a beatdown on the guy. And that you could
Well,
evolve
the Shield already put away Undertaker, so.
I'm just saying, if you're doing this feud with Kane, you maybe work in Undertaker somehow, or.
I imagine they might at some point.
I just thought that would have made the feud a bit better if they worked in Undertaker somehow, but I don't know if he's injured or not. I know they always got to keep him safe for the WrestleMania match, so that's always a thing that they got to keep in mind as well. So I mean, it was a good feud. It was a decent match, but I think now they need to go on to someone more important than Kane to kind of establish themselves. You know, the way the Shield did when they first came, before they become completely pointless.
And also, I know they don't want to actually injure Kane, but slamming the fucking steps around his head, because
That
there's
might actually injure him.
little gap around it.
Yeah, that looked really stupid.
That did.
I'm going. It's like the worst thing you could do, since it's completely missing his head when you slam it, is just make loud noise and hurt his ears.
After the match, the lights come on and Bray poses over Kane. They leave the ring. We go to replays. Bray takes a seat in his rocking chair at ringside, and Rowan and Harper have pulled steel steps in front of him. They lay Kane face down on the steps in front of Bray. They grab the other half, and they do a con step show. Would be the best way to describe it. We get another WWE 2K14 promo.
Actually, here's the thing. They before we go into that, after they do that, they light it. The lights dim and they light his lantern, and as his music is going, they actually Bray is leading the way as Rowan and Harper are bringing Kane with them. They're carrying him off with them.
Well, that's
I don't know why it got on my nerves, but when he's coming in during his entrance, his lantern is LED, but when he's leaving, it was just fire.
I wonder what they're gonna do. I think what they might do is actually try and make Kane a part of the Wyatt family. Which would be
that's what people have been predicting.
People have been predicting that. That's what I think they're gonna do. We go to the panelists, and Matthews, Michaels, T, and Guerrero talk about the Ring of Fire match. And the announcers talk about Punk versus Lesnar, and we see some footage from the pre-show where Paul Heyman revealed that Brock Lesnar would be in an ODQ match. Then we go to Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes.
Good match, but I personally felt it was too short.
It was too short. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think it could have used. I think it could have used like 15 minutes. Basically, I think it was definitely short in the 15, and I think it deserved at least 15 minutes.
It deserved longer than it got. That's definitely for sure for these two, because they're great wrestlers. It was a good match, but it just wasn't long enough. Sandow and Cody are having a back and forth with each other. Sandow hits the...
and Ollie, mention what you... say what you said about the briefcase.
Apparently, Damien Sandow's briefcase is made of pure chocolate. It's that color, and like the logo also looks like it's made of chocolate. So inside is nougat and the contract.
And the contract, which is made out of peanut butter.
Inside is the case full of Kit Kat bars.
That's probably what it is. That's where Vince McMahon keeps his lunch, is inside the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's probably where he keeps his lunch. He goes to
after Sandow is done, give me back my lunchbox.
Give me back my lunchbox, damn it. Sandow goes to the elbow of the stay, nails it for a 2 count. He goes for a submission, but Cody breaks it. Sandow goes right back to work, rubs Cody's face in the mat. He goes to the top, but Cody cuts him off with some headbutts. Nails a muscle buster, and which
that was awesome.
That was awesome. He nailed the muscle buster on Sandow. I had a little pop for that. That was awesome. He covers Sandow for a 2 count. Yes, Samoa Joe would be proud. They end up on the apron, and Cody hits an elbow to the head. He springboards in with a missile drop, drop kick, and Sandow ducks the disaster kick, dropped Cody into the second rope, hits a swinging neck breaker for a 2 count, and Cody rolls up for a 2 count. He hits the disaster kick, but Sandow kicks out at 2. We had a lot of close pinfalls in this match. Sandow moves in, and Sandy. No, Sandow moves, and Cody runs into the ring post.
What is my old dog doing in the ring?
Sandow with a roll up for 2, and then Cody finally nails the crossroads for a win. And Cody Rhodes wins, who I think actually I did want Cody to win.
I will. The thing is that I know a lot of people thought like this match should be for the briefcase.
I thought it should have been. Because Cody Rhodes or Damien Sandow, I would have been happy. Whoever was the briefcase holder, because they both deserve it. But this match just didn't have any. There was nothing at stake here. It was just a match between 2 guys. It was a grudge match, and yeah, a grudge match. You can have that on a pay-per-view, but it's just like there should have been a bit more to it.
Yeah.
It should have been longer. It should have had something at stake. You can have grudge matches and pay-per-views. That's perfectly fine, but it should have been more than a grudge match. After the match, Cody celebrates his Sandow cross and clutches his briefcase. We go to replays. Then we get a look at Christian's career, which in WWE has never really amounted to much other than a tag team championship. And a world heavyweight title that he didn't really hold for that long. Just saying. The guys consider retire.
I figure you might laugh, but he did win. He was ECW champ. The ECW champ. Yeah, I figured you would.
Like that matters. Like that ever mattered. Isn't Christian considering retirement now?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It's like it is. This may be his last go.
Right. Well, Christian, as good as you are, if you do retire, you will not be following your brother Edge to the Hall of Fame. Just saying. That will not be.
I think he will.
I don't think he. For people, nah. I don't think. If he, maybe, but not in a while. Not in a while. Like over the people that should be in it, the Owen Harts, the Randy Savages, Lou Thez. Lou Thez is not in the Hall of Fame. How is that man not in the Hall of Fame? He's the longest reigning world heavyweight champion, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. How is Lou Thez not in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he might get in it, Christian, but he won't. When there's more people that deserve it, I don't think he'll be in it for quite some time after he retires. At least 5 years. At least after he retires, before he's even considered. It's a different case with Edge, it was, because the dude was fucking awesome the entirety of his career. Christian was awesome when he was with Edge.
Well, the thing is, you say that, but at the same time, I think WWE likes to put people seems to like putting people in the Hall of Fame probably sooner than they should, simply because they're more recent superstars. So people are at least familiar, the fans are more familiar with them.
I get that the fans are more familiar with them, but if you know wrestling, you'll know who Macho Man Randy Savage is. You'll know who Owen Hart was. You'll know who Lou Thez was. For God's sake, the man has a move named after him.
But yeah, they may know that Luthez is a name after them, but they probably don't remember like. They probably don't like remember.
How many people?
They probably don't remember what his matches were like and stuff like that. Like they probably never actually seen him wrestle. You know what I mean?
How many people of today's audience saw Bruno Sammartino wrestle? The guy still deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. You know, how many people of today's crowd saw Bob Backlund wrestle? The guy still deserved it. You know, not many people of today's crowd will.
I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just saying.
WWE is a weird
but
one.
I can see WWE thinking that like they definitely always want to have someone. It seems like in the past few years they really want like this super familiar guy to go in so people have a bigger reason to watch.
I have no idea.
I think that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to pop the rating by doing that.
I have no idea who they're going to put in this year then. Who's recent that they're going to put? Unless The Undertaker retires this year, they're not going to put him in. Unless The Undertaker's retiring this year. If you hear before WrestleMania that The Undertaker's going into the Hall of Fame, we'll know he's retiring this year. I mean, that's the only person recent I can think of that could possibly go in. Other than that, they're going to have to go with some older guys here. This year, at least. Because I can't think of anyone recent that they'd put in. And even if Christian retires this year, I doubt they'll put him in. That's just me personally. Because the guy, as much as he's achieved in his career, he's not achieved that much in his WWE career. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to be looking at when it comes to the Hall of Fame. So we're looking at, hey, TNA, hey, you know, what he did outside of WWE, yeah. But I don't think so in WWE. That's just me. Never was a Christian fan personally. I just thought he was, He was the Marty Jannetty to Edge's Shawn Michaels, in my opinion. We get the World Heavyweight title match: Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. Good match.
Really good match.
Really good match. And it got the fans.
And again, this felt like it was a bit short. And again, this felt like you should have given this a little more time to me. I just felt.
I think it got the time it deserved. It was a great back and forth match. Christian wasn't made to look weak in this match, as he's been made to look a lot of times in the past. Del Rio had a great showing. He wasn't. What I always fear with a Del Rio match is I'm just gonna see another Del Rio match. You know, the kind of stuff I was fearing when he was feuding with Sheamus. It's just as good.
I think that was more the fault of Sheamus than Del Rio.
I've realized now, watching that is more the fault of Sheamus than Del Rio, because I just thought Del Rio is just another one of these kind of Randy Orton guys or John Cena guys who are only as good as the person that they're in the ring with, who break out the same moves every match, and it's nothing special. But I was proved wrong. He had a great showing in this match. It was obviously just Sheamus when it came to that feud, made Del Rio look bad. It's taken a long time for me to take a liking to Del Rio, but I have taken a liking to him.
Dude, I pretty much have always liked Del Rio, and what amazes me is like, think about this. We both hate Ryback, and we both think he's way too.
With a passion.
And we both think he's way too stiff and unsafe.
Yes.
Del Rio is stiff as fuck. But his kick.
But he's safe. You can be stiff and still wrestle safe. You can be stiff and still wrestle amazingly well. Look at, Harley Race, one of the stiffest wrestlers in the history of the business, still an amazing wrestler. He could legit beat the shit out of you if he wanted to in a match. But he'd only do it if he thought you deserved it. He still wrestled stiff all the same, because that's just the way his style was. Same with all those wrestlers back in the day. A lot of them wrestled stiff.
Big Van Vader.
Big Van Vader wrestled stiff. It's just their style.
Dude, Vader could kill you. sometimes.
Bruno Sammartino could legit kick the shit out of you. A lot of those old wrestlers could legit beat the shit out of you, but it was if they'd only do it to teach other wrestlers a lesson. That was back then in that day where you could do something like that, where you could kick the shit out of someone when they deserved it, and when it was, they needed to learn a lesson. These days you can't do that. You got to be safe, regardless who you're facing. And Del Rio, he wrestles stiff, but he wrestles safe. He's not like Ryback, where Ryback is careless and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Del Rio is a great technical wrestler. Bret Hart was a great technical wrestler, and I say he was a bit stiff sometimes as well, actually, Bret Hart. It's the technical wrestlers wrestle a bit more stiff than others for some reason.
I want to, on behalf of the C Show, we never uploaded the episode, but I personally, on the behalf of the C Show, want to apologize for our comments saying that Ryback was injured people because I went into the forums on a steal. Basically, me and Riddler both pretty much were hard convinced that he was the cause of the injuries. We were pretty much proven flat out. We were pretty much flat out wrong.
I'll admit when I'm wrong. That does not stop me from hating the guy and thinking he should be fired, or he should at least go through the fucking paces that everyone else has gone through. That's not going to stop me thinking that.
I think he has gone through some paces. I mean, he was in Tough Enough. He was in NXT. He was in the Nexus, but the problem is, I do think he needs more. I do think he needs more development.
He needs more development. You don't take a guy who was in Tough Enough at NXT and just be like, in the first 3 fucking months, be like, here you go, you're considered for a WWE title. You don't do that. That's not how you build.
Unless you're really, really fucking good and you're actually unless you're really good and you're showing them something,
This match here is why I took a liking to Alberto Del Rio, because I just thought it was another case of a guy who's getting stuff he doesn't deserve, and he proved to me in this match that he fucking deserves it. He's a good technical wrestler. The fans were on their feet chanting, "This is awesome," because it was an awesome match. It was a great showing by both men. Christian showing that he's worth more than what this company thinks of him. Del Rio showing to me that he was more of a wrestler than I thought he was. I liked him as a character. I didn't like him as a wrestler, but now I like him as both a wrestler and a character.
I really don't understand how. I mean, but besides his match with Sheamus, he's always been an awesome. He's always been an awesome guy in the ring. I mean, maybe when he started out, he wasn't that awesome, but he's so developed, and he has an amazing background. He's like a Greco-Roman MMA. He has like an MMA background, a Greco-Roman background. He's like a Pan Olympian. That is an amazing fucking background.
It's really amazing. I can't say the highlights of there was nothing that really stuck out in this match. This is one of the matches that you need to see SummerSlam for, definitely, because
I can tell you a highlight when basically Christian was climbing the corner, starting to climb the corner, and then Del Rio ran towards the corner and actually did a backstabber off like the second rope. That was holy.
That was
holy shit.
That was a great.
It was fast too.
It was.
Boom.
Del Rio is a very fast worker. Honestly, this is definitely one of the matches that you should watch SummerSlam for. If you have to pay for it, if you want to get it for free by other means, we're not going to judge you. However you watch it, just watch this match because it was a good match. The whole from start to finish, it was a great match. Both of them did an excellent job, and Alberto came out as the winner from that match. And
mainly because I don't know if it's like this is an ongoing kayfabe injury, but basically Christian's shoulder was giving him problems the whole time. So basically, Del Rio was taking advantage of that. Although there is one problem with that, is the cross arm breaker isn't really on your shoulder as so much as it is your elbow. But you could argue for the fact that like it affects your whole arm. Like,
I think that's what they're going to go with. I think that's what they're going to go with.
If you could argue that it's like it affects your whole arm. If he's stretching your arm, it's gonna hurt your shoulder.
It's gonna hurt your shoulder because I mean, if you pull on your arm, it does. Your shoulder is affected by that. Like I mean, if you just pull on your arm now, you'll feel your shoulder going with it. So I mean, I understand that. I mean, I don't know if they're going to use this if he is injured to write him off the TV for a few months, for like a month or however long he needs to take a break if he is injured. Maybe that's what they're doing this for.
I think it's a kayfabe injury.
Oh, it's a kayfabe injury? Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. I think it's a kayfabe thing.
It's a kayfabe thing. Yeah, fair enough. I'm all for kayfabe injuries. That's cool. But
I could definitely see him being injured because of Christian is starting to get up there in age.
I can see that. You know, it's easier for the oldies to get.
And he has been kind of injury prone.
Yes, very much so.
Actually, the shoulder injury actually makes sense because that's what he injured. That's what took him out. So it's probably they're probably using his legit injury as a kayfabe. He's probably mostly healed from the shoulder. They're just using it in a kayfabe sense. You know.
Yeah, probably.
They're making it out like it's still you don't the whole kind of thing of you don't immediately heal kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't always come back 100% from an injury kind of thing. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. Alberto Del Rio wins. Definitely put on a great match with Christian. One of my favorite matches of the night. Yeah, great match, and definitely I think those at least should have a look at this match. If you don't want to watch the whole pay-per-view, definitely watch this match. After the match, Renee Young interviews Del Rio in the ring and asks if he's proud of the victory. He says it's a great night because he's still our champion. He gets a pop when he's saying he's the one representing Latinos. Del Rio says the Mexican people need someone to look up to, someone to tell them everything will be just fine when they are down. He says that he is that person. He drops the mic and raises the World Heavyweight title as his music plays, and then this is backstage with Maria. Why the fuck are you in this business, Menounos, talking about her Access match?
Well, apparently she's actually really getting behind. She's not just there. It seems like she actually wants to become a legit diva wrestler. It seems that way. It's starting to look that way.
She's been such a bitch about it, though. The fans hate her for a very good reason. To me, she is a fucking smart. She really is. With her show and with the way she reacts to some of the fans and the way she reacted to that whole... I'll admit the fans were a bit out of order at the Hall of Fame, but the way she reacted to it and...
I don't remember how she reacted to it.
She made a big fucking hullabaloo about it, and honestly... She brought it up when it didn't need to be brought up.
What did she say? Do you remember what she said?
I can't remember the exact thing she said. I just know she made a big fucking hullabaloo.
Could you? Maybe it doesn't need to be exact. Do you know?
She said that it was the fans were bringing. I think it was something on the lines the fans were creating a bad image for the WWE or something like that. And with the way that they booed her in the Hall of Fame when she was inducting Bob Backlund, she was saying
they're just booing you.
Yeah, she was saying stuff like WWE needs to learn to control their audience or something along that fucking line. I'm like, you can't control a fucking audience.
This is exactly. You cannot control it on it and. if all they did was boo you, then you have nothing to complain about.
They were booing her because they didn't like her. Her fans do not like Maria Menounos. They just think she really is fucking smart mark, in my eyes. With the fucking show, and she creates such a big fucking hullabaloo about the tiniest fucking things. And now she thinks, hey, I can be a diva. I can wrestle. You know, so many like these other fucking women that come out of industries and businesses that have nothing to do with wrestling. I'm sorry, Trish Stratus was a one-off thing, okay? Because although she was a model, she was into athletics. She was into fitness. She was a fitness model. She was not a model. She wasn't working on some talk show that's just somehow involved in wrestling. She wasn't fucking coming out of Playboy magazine thinking, I'm going to be a wrestler, I can be a diva. No, she was at least a fitness model and had some knowledge of fitness. She's not you, Maria Menounos. You are not her. And any of these other fucking models, or these people that look like they could be models, have followed this idea that, I can be the next Trish Stratus. No, you can't. You don't know shit. And you don't know.
Unfortunately, Trish Stratus, I'll give her all the respect in the world because she was like one of the first, probably the one who kind of like established the idea you can be a women's wrestler and look good and look really hot, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, basically being a she exemplified what a diva should be.
Yes.
But at the same time, she kind of opened the door for all the wrong sort of people.
For the wrong sort of people. Maria Menounos, you host a show that's...
it's not really completely her fault. It was just the fact that it's just that they saw the WWE, saw what they did with Trish, and decided we're going to keep trying. We're going to try this with like 30 fucking times, or how many times as we fucking want, and because we're hoping we can find the next diamond in the rough, the next Trish Stratus.
Just because I don't even know how you got involved with this company, Maria. I just know your show, the thing you do has somehow gotten you involved with this business. You were a fan of Bob Backlund. Congratulations for you. Bob Backlund has a lot of fans. That doesn't mean they suddenly get TV time on Raw. Okay, it doesn't mean that they're suddenly guest appearing on fucking pay-per-views and in access matches just because they're a fan of Bob Backlund. Okay, your show has somehow gotten you involved with this business. You make a huge hullabaloo when people don't like you. Sorry, that's how wrestling goes. If people don't like you, they're going to boo you, and they're going to let you know that they don't like you. That's something WWE can't control, and it doesn't create a bad image for WWE. It's just the wrestling fandom. It's something you need to get used to. So if you don't like the fact that fans don't like you, if you can't put up with people booing you, you can't be a part of this business. You can say all you like, I can be a diva. If you can't put up with people booing you, no, you can't. You can't even step into a ring if you can't put up with people booing you. Because it's something everyone has to prepare themselves for. You got to prepare for people telling you that you are a piece of shit in that ring. And you got to just smile and wave and do your moves and pretend that it ain't happening.
And if anything, if people hate you in the ring, go heel.
Be a heel.
Be a bad guy.
Be a heel. Don't try and put on this, I love wrestling. I love wrestling. I'm a woman that loves wrestling. I want to be a diva. Just, if people are booing you, fucking, be a heel. Be a bitch about it. People are booing you because you're making a big deal out of fucking nothing. You have a show that's somehow gotten you TV time that you don't deserve. People are highlighting you more than they highlight Natalia. People highlight you. They have been involved with you more than the entirety of their Divas division in the past 10 years. This is why people hate you. Because your show has somehow gotten you more attention than divas like Natalia, who can't even get a fucking 10-minute match. This is why people can't put up with you. And because you make a big deal out of nothing, do you think Natalia would fucking care if people booed her? She's been a heel before. She doesn't give a shit. She don't think it creates a bad image for people. She's just glad she's getting a fucking reaction. The woman needs a 10-minute match, and here you are. I'm happy I got an access match. I can be a WWE diva. Fuck you. Fuck you. This is why I don't watch the WWE Divas division, because people like you get through and you're put over people that actually deserve to be a champion, like Natalia, and
well, deserve in general to be like on the show.
Deserve to be on the show.
To be pushed, to be considered, to be actually like respected as a professional wrestler.
It's people like you. If you become a diva, it is people like you. I will give you a chance. I'll see your match, because I haven't seen your access match. For all I know, you're the next fucking Trish Stratus, but I highly doubt it. I will watch your next match if you ever come out on TV. And if you are bad, I will say I predicted this shit. I will rant. I will rave, and I will say I have been right about the Divas division all fucking long, which I have been so far. Other than AJ and Caitlyn, these women do not get the time of day to wrestle.
And to be perfectly honest, most of them don't deserve it.
Most of them don't deserve it. Some of them do. And the ones that do are pushed aside for the ones that don't. And it's people like you that come in and think, because I am involved with this business somehow, I can work in it. I can be a wrestler. And you come in, you don't know shit about the business. You think you do, but you don't. You come in, you try to do something, you fail at it, but it doesn't matter because you're still involved with the business. You're going to be put over, Natalia. You're going to be put over divas that deserve the attention because you're involved with the business. You make a big hullabaloo. You get the attention that WWE wants you to get and wants to get for themselves. So why not put you over, Natalia? You could be the worst divas wrestler they've seen, and they'll still put you over those people that deserve it because of the attention you get. If you're the next Trish Stratus, I will take everything back. I will take it all back. I will find the nearest mountain, climb to it, and shout to the world, I was wrong about Maria Menounos. But until
you'd actually climb a mountain.
I will do that. I will do that. If Maria Menounos turns out,
you're gonna be the next JBL and go up a mountain, shout from the hilltops and donate to charity.
I will do that. If Maria Menounos turns out to be the next Trish Stratus, if she gets TV time on Raw, gets a match, I will watch it. If she gets a match on Raw, and if she turns out to be good. If she turns out to be the next Trish Stratus, I will climb a mountain and I will shout to the heavens, I was wrong about Maria Menounos. I take everything back. But I highly doubt that is going to happen. We go on to the Divas match, by the way.
Or in other words, also called the Total Divas match, because we got a promo and all the people involved in this match, including the actual competitors, are involved with the show.
Is this really what the Divas division has become? A fucking show. A reality show. People wonder why I don't respect the Divas division, why I have very little respect for the Divas division, why I skip Divas matches, why when it comes to all women's wrestling leagues, I'll be like, no thanks, I'm good. when it comes to women's wrestling matches, I just skip it. It's not because I'm sexist. It's not because I don't think women can't wrestle. I know women can wrestle. Natalya Neidhart, extremely talented. Caitlyn and AJ, talented wrestlers and deserve to be where they are in the company. AJ deserves to be where she is. Caitlyn deserves to be where she is in the Divas division.
Caitlyn has come a long way.
A long way. She put in the hard work and the effort, and she deserves to be where she is. But Natalya has tried. I don't know whether it's the WWE's hatred for the Hart family. I mean, you screwed Brett, you killed Owen. What else do you need to do to the Hart family, WWE? Really, at this point, what do you need to do?
I mean, look at what look at just in the past, 2 years, look at some of the stuff they've been giving her. They've given her a farting gimmick. Then they put her in a completely go-nowhere storyline. I don't even know what to call it. They just, for no reason in particular, they decided to put her with the Great Khali and Hornswoggle.
That made no fucking sense. This woman deserves.
And now they're putting her in a reality show with the Bella Twins, the fucking whores of the diva world, and a bunch of no names, and the Funkadactyls, which are okay at best.
Okay. They are okay. Why do you hate the Hart family, WWE? Why? Was Brett and Owen not enough? Did you just want to curse the entire family? Natalya wins, thank God.
Actually, I have to say, this match was not bad.
It was.
For the Divas match.
I'm sorry.
For the typical Divas match we get with shitty Divas, this was better. This was better than I expected it to be. This was actually okay.
No, a bad match is a bad match, and this was a bad match.
I didn't think it was bad. It was better. I mean, here's the thing about it seems to be only Brie, I think. Brie can actually show a tiny bit of something in certain matches. She's done it. This is the second time she showed a little bit of something. I can't remember the other match, but she at least seems to have just a smidgen of something there, So it wasn't out and out horrible. It was definitely the weakest match on the card,
without a doubt.
But it wasn't. It was okay for a Divas match.
I don't want to see these people from a reality show that I'm never going to watch, though, ever. And I know there's probably some people listening to it.
There is one problem, really. As far as there's no storyline here.
Nope.
There's, as far as I can tell, the only storyline is about the Total Divas show.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Is that Natalya has been Natalya and some of the other face divas like the Funkadactyls have been in this really petty fucking exchange, and the Brie Bellas are basically acting like complete bitches and being just mean girls to Natalya and the Funkadactyls and such. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
There's nothing here.
Your Divas division, ladies and gentlemen, a reality show. That's your Divas division. Nobody can ever say to me that I should watch the Divas division when all it is a reality show. Nobody. I can watch AJ and Caitlyn, no problem. That's not the Divas division, though. The division is a reality show. And AJ and Caitlyn are just kind of outside that and actually doing something for the women of wrestling. God, I hate the Divas division so goddamn much.
I wish they actually did something with it. Like
we see another
Diva wrestlers.
They don't care. They don't care. And they're so determined to not put Natalya over. That's what my theory is going to stay as, is that they hate the Hart family. They hate the Hart family. It's just, there's no other reason why they wouldn't. What has Natalya done? They hate the Hart family. That is my theory. We see another backstage segment with.
I mean, consider where she was at one point. She used to be in the Divas of Doom with fucking.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm forgetting her name now.
Yeah, we do.
What was her? Oh, Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix, which was another great wrestler, but she left because most likely she saw that the Divas is a go nowhere division, and she was being severely depushed for a bunch of people who can't wrestle and who don't care, who put no effort into that. That's the other thing about a lot of these divas is when they get into the business, they don't give a shit about improving.
Nope.
They really fucking don't.
No. Look at Kelly Kelly.
They obviously hire based on looks.
No, I mean, look at Kelly Kelly for how long she was in the business. If she was to come back tomorrow, I bet you anything she still wouldn't be able to run the ropes. If she was to come back tomorrow, I bet you she still wouldn't be able to run the ropes. And that's the first thing they teach you.
Yeah.
These women have no right, other than a select few, to be in a ring. They have no right to be associated with the name, with the business, at all. The only reason the Bellas have a job is because they're with Cena and Debray. Only reason. They still have a job. And I'm saying that, yes, it's because they're sleeping with the best in the damn company. Yes, it's the exact reason they're still in this company. It's the reason Michelle McCool was in this company for so long, was because she was with The Undertaker.
I always call Brie Bella Cheese Bella.
These women, no right to be in a ring. And I will continue to skip Divas matches unless it's, say, AJ and Caitlyn, or AJ and Natalya, or Caitlyn and Natalya. Those are the only three I can think of.
Or Layla's good.
Layla's okay. She's terrible on the mic. Terrible on the mic.
Yeah,
she's okay in the ring. Good. She's okay in the ring. Terrible on the mic. Needs to improve those mic skills before I can ever listen to her cut a promo. Other than that.
Oh, by the way, apparently on SmackDown they suddenly turned her heel with no. They just did.
Well, why not? Why not? It's the Divas division. Nobody pays attention to it. Why not? The only Divas people pay attention to are AJ and Caitlyn. Because they give a damn about AJ and Caitlyn. Because WWE gives a damn about AJ and Caitlyn. WWE, take note. People will only give a damn about the people you give a damn about. So if you just suddenly stopped giving a damn about Debray, eventually, people at first will be like, what the fuck? What the hell? But eventually people will stop giving a... Look at Zack Ryder. People fought for that guy to get on TV. People fought for that guy to get a spot. WWE didn't give a damn. They slowly kept putting him down a notch, and then people didn't give a damn because WWE didn't give a damn. So, oh well, he's never going to get on top. Let's choose somebody else to follow.
Speaking of it, there is one other thing to mention about this match.
Let's move on. There's nothing else to mention.
The crowd was shitting all over it.
The crowd did shit all over it.
Didn't they cheer for like?
They started that thing that they did. I think I'm not.
It was the thing they did in the Sheamus Randy Orton match where they were just cheering for random things. They were just...
Yeah, they started turning for the announcers.
I gotta say, biggest pop for Michael Cole ever.
They had a We Want Table
Yeah.
chant. There was actually a We Want Riders chant.
Natalia won, as she should have, against Brie Bella, but I'm not saying that's a step in the right direction at all, because it was a terrible match. We see another backstage segment with a man who should be fired, bullying a catering worker. Ryback... Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrestling in a couple months.
This is what are they do? This is so stupid. They turned Ryback into the type of schoolyard bully. They turned Ryback into the type of schoolyard bully who just... He's the type of schoolyard bully that does things just to, mean things to just annoy you, but you can't do anything about it because he kicked your ass.
So what were you going to say, Ali?
I was just going to say I haven't watched wrestling in a couple months, and apparently his gimmick is he's really petty.
He's really petty. He doesn't like cold soup, but it's supposed to be cold. That's what we're going with here.
Just fucking microwave it, I don't care.
Microwave it. Ryback ends up dumping the soup down in the guy's shirt, laughs at him, and says he's like a 3-year-old, then dumps a whole part of the soup on his head, and calls him a moron.
So he's really
He actually said, feed me moron.
You can't eat morons.
Ryback, this is a personal message from me to you. When you're on the street panhandling for change, if I ever walk by you, I'm going to spit in your face.
He really doesn't like Ryback.
You are, without a doubt, one of the worst characters I have ever seen. One of the worst. Whatever gimmick they give you does not work.
It didn't work when he was in the Nexus. It didn't work when he was on NXT. It didn't work when he was starting as Ryback, and it doesn't work now. You're just a petty jackass, and apparently that's your entire gimmick.
Petty jackass, and I'm thinking
and like I said, he's nothing more than the annoying schoolyard bully that does just annoying shit to you. But he's a big guy. So
also,
if you try to do anything, he could just beat you up.
Also, fun fact: people who are bullies have major self-doubt issues.
Okay.
So I just imagine after that, Ryback just goes home and starts crying.
I really don't get why you're in this company, Ryback. I don't.
I just want to feel special.
I really don't get why you're in this company, Ryback. You need to improve.
Vince likes
immensely.
Vince likes big fucking oversteroided guys. That's why.
If he was in a spot where he needed to improve, I think we'd see that from him. But he's not in a spot where he needs to improve. He's in a spot that Vince just handed to him on a platter.
Because Vince likes jacked guys.
Because Vince likes jacked guys. And I think if Ryback started out from the bottom, I wouldn't hate him so much. Because I think we would honestly see him improve.
They pushed the shit out of him with no reason to push him, and he wasn't ready for it. So he fucked up, and now he's here.
He's just here. If he started out from the bottom and worked his way up like everyone else should, everyone should do that. CM Punk did it. CM Punk went through 6 years of just being a placeholder, of just being a guy that they were eventually going to release and say, good luck in your future endeavors. And he said, no.
Actually, if anyone didn't deserve kind of the treatment he got, it was CM Punk.
Yeah, he did not deserve the treatment he got at all. Ryback instantly pushed. Instantly. Over people like Debray.
I don't know why he was pushed. In NXT, he was not that good.
Tyson Kidd has been struggling for so long. And this guy, just because he's got big muscles. Yeah, you can have a WWE title shot. Why not? Doesn't matter if you're technically gifted. Doesn't matter if you know how to wrestle. Doesn't matter that you're careless. Doesn't matter that you could potentially injure someone in being careless.
He is so fucking green, even now.
He almost did.
He almost did. He's green.
Even though it was half Brian's fault. It was half Brian's fault. Brian came at him too fast. But at the same time, I think if that match wasn't against the Big Show, even given the speed that Brian was coming out, Big Show could have caught him, held him, and done a better, safer power bomb to the floor than Ryback did.
Well, that's because Big Show's really experienced.
Really experienced. That's the thing. Big Show worked at what he had to do. He's experienced. He worked.
He fucking really safe, even if he's like a big motherfucker.
You know, he got there, but through work and effort and training and doing what he needed to do.
BCW and like early Big Show WWF and E, he was kind of a joke. He was just some big guy.
He was just some big guy, and that's what Ryback is right now.
And
He's just some big muscle guy.
He was so safe and consistent that they just let Big Show work.
Yeah. That's what Ryback is right now. He's just some big, muscly guy.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, you know, he's like, he really is the like, in a way, kind of a reincarnation in a lot of ways of Andre, because like he realizes how big he is,
and he works
because
around that,
of he realizes he has to work safe, otherwise he's gonna potentially really hurt the guy.
Yeah, he works around being a really big guy. He really is. He is a reincarnation of Andre. But Andre although back in that was back in the day, because it was back in that during that time that
Andre lifting a
if
fucking
he didn't like you,
he'd hurt you. He'd hurt you.
Yeah.
He would hurt you. There's the story of when he faced the Ultimate Warrior. Like, that's, like, the Ultimate Warrior kept doing stuff that Andre didn't like, so the third time the Warrior ran at him, Andre just put his fist out and knocked Warrior out cold.
Because all those stories about him, like, drinking an entire keg or like, lifting the back of a truck to change a tire, yeah, I fucking believe that.
I believe that. I think... Honestly, I would like Ryback if he actually tried to improve. He doesn't need to, because they handed him a position. If he gets put into a position where he needs to work to earn his spot, and if I were to see improvement out of him, I think he'd be a guy that I could watch and enjoy. But right now, no chance. The guy is green.
Oh, go ahead. Right. Honestly, I think that Ryback needs to choose how he's going to wrestle from now on, because I think he should either switch to the big guy style, like Big Show, or kind of like, I'm trying to find a good example, a guy who's kind of bigger but wrestles like a smaller wrestler.
A guy who's bigger but wrestles like a smaller wrestler.
Like if Matt Morgan wasn't shit. Or something.
If Matt Morgan wasn't shit.
Because I think that he needs to show some more caution and either go one way or the other.
Yes. One way or the other.
Either say he's big and slow, or just drop the fucking shit ton of really dangerous power moves that he's doing.
And it's obvious that creative has no idea where to go with this guy, because they've given him how many character changes now? He was originally like a Goldberg kind of guy. Then he became the kryptonite to John Cena's Superman jealous friend. Then he became cowardly heel. Now he's schoolyard bully. How many gimmicks is this guy going to go through?
He just doesn't have the personality for it to fucking work.
He doesn't. He needs to be developed. And WWE doesn't get that, or at least Vince doesn't. No, he's a big muscular guy. We gotta have him on the roster. Ah.
Also, his fucking promo skills suck. Okay, he's terrible at talking.
Really do.
He's more boring on the mic than Orton, and that is not.
I'm going to hurt you.
When it comes to Orton. That's like saying something when it comes to how boring Orton's promos are.
I am Ryback.
I'm Ryback. I'm the kryptonite to your Superman. Fuck off, Ryback. We get a promo for Punk versus Lesnar, and then we get Punk versus Lesnar. This fucking match.
Match of the night.
This fucking match.
Punk fucking killed it, okay? He just killed it.
Oh my god, I thought when I saw Triple H versus Lesnar the 2 times in a row, that Lesnar wouldn't be able to bring a good match anymore, or wouldn't be able to be in a good match anymore. Punk and Lesnar. Whoa. This match.
Honestly, Punk was amazing, and Brock did everything he was supposed to do, and that's why he did such a good job. He's just like,
Punk,
do this, do this, do this, and he did all of it.
Punk carried Lesnar in this match.
I'm not so. I don't think he really did. I don't think he was really carrying Lesnar. I think Lesnar is actually starting to show some of that. It seems like he in this match. It felt like old Brock Lesnar back when he had that big push.
I get that. Yeah,
honestly, I just think that if the person who was outstanding in that match was fucking Punk, but Lesnar did a really good job.
Punk did amazing.
And here's the thing about in relation to Ryback. Look at Brock Lesnar was doing stiff shit, and he was actually. That's the other thing is Brock does have a little bit more experience, but being the monumentous dick we know Lesnar is, he wasn't a dick to Punk here. He was doing dangerous shit, but doing it right.
Yeah, it was like at first, the first half of the match, just fucking Lesnar destroyed Punk, but then Punk started to fucking wear him down, and it was just like, it was really fucking good. This
was a wrestling match.
He wore down Lesnar, and even though, like, he lost, they both looked very strong, and, like, neither of them looked like a bitch. So
this was not a sports entertainment match. This wasn't a filler. This was a wrestling match, and it was fucking good.
And there wasn't really that. It didn't really seem like there was that much at stake. But at the same time, they found a way to make it feel like there was.
It told such a good story.
It did.
It was like the grudge match. It was like the grudge match that had a story that actually
it told the story
that he didn't need to have that. He didn't really need to have this huge thing at stake.
But yeah,
all that mattered was the fact that these guys wanted to beat the shit out of each other.
It did, and it also told the story of, like, Brock being really strong and imposing, but Punk just having so much fucking perseverance that he could just outlast him, even if he's getting ragdolled around.
It told such a great story. I mean, that's how you do a grudge match well. It doesn't have to have anything on the line, but you can tell it's an important match. They just want to
beat the shit out of each other.
You can still tell this is an important match. Doesn't have to have anything important outlined.
I know there was something at stake in this match. I just, like, there's something I want to say, though.
Honestly, the only thing that was on the line was probably...
I've actually heard people say that the match between, like, Triple H and Taker wasn't that good of a wrestling match. And I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? And they were saying, like, it was more emotion.
It was. It was more of an emotion. It wasn't that good of a wrestling.
My argument is, and that's a problem.
It's not a problem, no. But that's
the best kind of match.
It is a good. It was a great match. Yes, I can see what they mean when it says it wasn't a great wrestling match, though. Because
Like,
you can have a
H or Undertaker are the most proficient wrestlers.
yes,
But they
it
can
wasn't
fucking
a great
tell you a story with just wrestling.
yes, yeah, exactly. It wasn't a great wrestling match, but it was a great story. That's what the Triple H match was with Taker. This was both a great story and a great wrestling match, and this was without a doubt match of the night. You don't see matches like this often these days. This is the kind of stuff that you'd see back in the old days with like Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat just telling an amazing story in the ring with their wrestling. It was. Oh, I loved it. This is. I hope. I don't know if I've seen a better match than this year so far. Can you guys think of a better match that you've seen this year?
No, but I could name a match that was both a good match and I thought told a good story, and that was probably the best match other than this year was probably Punk versus Cena, the match before. That match to determine if before the WrestleMania.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ali. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, other great matches still have CM Punk in it.
Other great matches do
I'm
still have
seeing a pattern here, you know?
He is, without a doubt, one, if not the best, one of the best in WWE.
Best in the
right
business.
now. Best in the business, definitely.
Could you imagine how it makes me wish that CM Punk had gotten a chance to wrestle Michaels before he retired.
Oh, that would have been a match. Oh God, I would have loved to have seen that.
I'm totally doing that in WWE 14, by the way.
Yes, Punk versus Michaels. Hell yes, I would have loved to have seen that. Honestly, like, you hear it from all these old school wrestlers. You hear it from, like, the Bret Harts, the Roddy, but you hear it from a bunch of old school wrestlers. I wish Punk was around in my day because we could have put on one hell of a match. All the old school guys love Punk. Because they, like, if he was around, we would have had one hell of a match. And that just shows how good of a wrestler he is when these old school guys are like, man, I wish he was around in my day. Because they wanted to because they want to wrestle Punk. But the guy is so talented and like honestly, I remember him in like his back in like his old WWE days, the long hair, the Jesus beard. He was good back then. But the thing about Punk is, he's gotten so much better, and he is so good that he can just give you something new every time. Because I'm like, when I think I've seen everything I can see from Punk, this match comes along and I'm like, fuck yes. The whole match is a highlight to me. You need to see. I said the World Heavyweight match you should see. You should definitely see this. If no other match.
I thought the ending was reasonable because Punk bested Lesnar, like, totally. But it was just his anger at Paul Heyman that fucked him over.
It was his anger at Paul Heyman that fucked him over. He worked on Lesnar throughout the match. It was an amazing story. He works on Lesnar throughout the match. And I think Lesnar should have won this match to keep the story going. I think if Punk won, that would have been the story over with then.
Also,
I think
the other thing is that Lesnar this is only Lesnar's second pay-per-view win.
I was going to say
he kind of needed this win, otherwise he's not really a credible threat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Debbie. I was just going to say that Brock Lesnar always seems to kind of lose the big game in the end. So I do think he kind of needed the win just to establish, like, don't fuck around with Brock Lesnar.
Don't fuck it. He needed this win. Lesnar needed a win, but he needed a win that was hard fought, and that's what he got here. It was good for the story, and I can't wait to see how this is going to continue. This is what I'm most interested in right now when I watch Raw, is how this story goes along, the Heyman CM Punk saga, and I can't wait until this continues, because I think it's going to continue. I don't know how, but I definitely want to see what they come up with next, and just
by
how
the way,
it's going to go.
Remember how I said that I've said it before. I still believe that and I still argue that the power, if there's any a big dangerous move that Ryback needs to lose, it's the fucking powerbomb.
I'm just gonna say right here though,
Brock did 2 of them, one normal, and then he did a running powerbomb.
And he did both very well.
They're better than fucking Ryback.
He did both of those power bombs very well.
But yeah, I gotta say this to Brock Lesnar, you cannot make a scary face. You're going to either look like you need to shit, or you look like a giant monkey. You can't.
Oh god, you cannot do a scary face.
I think he was scarier looking when he was younger.
He was
when
very.
He would grit his teeth and show all his teeth, and he would flex his muscles, and he would cock his neck back and forth. He was fucking scary, man.
Like I said, back in the day, he looked insane. Just this fucking jacked up big motherfucker just staring at you, and it's just like, hi. Now he looks a bit fat. He should probably do something about that.
This match, the whole thing was a highlight. You need to watch this match, because this was a good wrestling match, and it was definitely match of the night for me. After the match, Lesnar won, by the way, which I think he should have. He won with the F5 on top of the steel chair. And after the match, Lesnar checks on Heyman. He grabs the steel chair before we get replays. And we come back, Lesnar and Heyman are stumbling up the apron while Punk recovers. He gets to his feet, and even though he's lost, he gets to his feet. The fans cheer for him, and he goes to the back.
You can lose and still look really good.
You can lose and still look really good, and Punk lost and still looked amazing here in this match. Without a doubt. His music hits as he goes to the back. We get a video from Access where a fan took a splash from Mark Henry.
Yeah, he got tickets to a show because a fat man landed on him.
Yeah, he got tickets to a show because a fat man landed on him, so... And you know what? If I ever got the chance to...
I don't think Henry's that fat. I think it's more muscle than we think.
It's more muscle. Still a big man.
But
and
you gotta say he still enjoys a Big Mac or two, probably.
Yeah, honestly, if I was that guy, if they're like, hey, we've got these tickets that we're giving away for free, you gotta take a splash from Mark Henry, I would immediately put my hand up. Because first of all, it's Mark Henry, and we all love Mark Henry on this show.
Also,
would you taunt him with the Dookie sandwich story before he splashed him?
Oh yeah, I totally would. I'd be like, I'd shake his hand and be like, first of all, Mark, before you splash me, it's an honor to meet you. We have our own Mark Henry fan club on this show that we do. But I hope you don't mind that I'm just going to be taunting you a little bit before the splash, so it gives you a little bit extra influence. And I'd be like, how about that Dookie sandwich, huh, Mark?
But a good example of the difference between fat and muscle and just fat is a good example. Mark Henry's muscle and fat, and then just all fat is probably viscera. Good God, those man titties.
Would you dare go as far as picking cotton?
No, I wouldn't go with the picking cotton. No.
I do racist shit in real life.
I wouldn't do racist shit in real life. I'd be like, or I'd just do the Mark Henry voice. I'd show him my Mark Henry impression. I would totally do that.
I love how our Mark Henry impression gets slowly and slowly more inaccurate.
So I'd be like, well, I just took the world's strongest slam and to get these free tickets to Summerslam, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
have
that.
some of those Doritos?
And I have some of those Doritos. Now, he'd probably slap the shit out of me if I did that. We go to Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn versus Big E and AJ Lee, and oh, Dolph Ziggler, the depths that you have sunk to. What
do you mean?
What the fuck has happened to Dolph Ziggler?
I thought he was getting a main event.
No, I guess you could argue. He has kind of been. He's kind of sunk a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. At least he's being featured.
I mean, Big E's pretty okay, but Dolph Ziggler deserves better than this.
Dolph Ziggler deserves better. I get it for the story. I totally get it for the story. This match needed to happen. Totally get it.
And Big E does some really good suplexes, by the way, too.
Dolph Ziggler.
Big E is a big guy, but he's not bad. It's weird.
But Dolph Ziggler deserves a title, a main title. He deserves either the WWE title or the World Heavyweight. He deserves either or. And if you were to give him the World Heavyweight title, I think he could bring some prestige back to that.
Yeah, totally.
I think if you put it on him and let him run with it, he could bring some much-needed prestige back to that title. Because, goddamn, does that title need some prestige. Whoo, does that title
heavyweight,
prestige.
The WWE, right? Because, by comparison, the World Heavyweight Championship looks kind of like a joke.
It's a big joke, the World Heavyweight title. It needs more prestige, to be honest. It needs a new look. It's been just this hunk of gold forever. It needs a new look, in my opinion. Freshen it up.
Revamping the fucking WWE title.
I know, they revamp that like there's nobody's business, but the World Heavyweight title, it's been like that since the day they got it, which was way back in the Invasion storyline, for God's sakes. It needs freshening up. It needs a title holder that can bring some prestige to it. So I think if you freshen it up, give it a new look, put it on Dolph Ziggler, let him run with it, let him bring some prestige back to it.
And actually let him run legitimately with it this time, for God's sake.
Like 4 or 5 fucking
again,
months or more.
When they gave him a world title, they gave him the world title, and once again, at least, I will say, yeah, at least he didn't drop it immediately, but they still did not give him a long enough run.
No, not a chance that they give him a long enough run. And I think this story has gone as far as it can between him and Big E and the whole Caitlyn, maybe not Caitlyn and AJ, I don't know, but it needs to end so Dolph Ziggler can go on to bigger and better things. AJ's got something new that she can do, because I was going to say her thing with Dolph Ziggler came to an end as it needed to. She's got Big E with her now, maybe she can move, her whole thing is that she bounces from superstar to superstar, and bounces was probably the inappropriate word there for that one, but, her whole thing is that she goes from superstar to superstar and kind of like a friggin' harpy, sucks the life out of them and their faces.
Their souls.
She's a succubus.
She's a succubus. I love AJ. One of my favorite diva in a long time, without a doubt, my favorite diva in the company right now, and definitely deserves to be the Divas champion, without a doubt, deserves to be the Divas champion. But I think it's time that she moved on to somebody else. That's just my personal opinion. Or wasn't associated with male superstars so far, so much. She's got male superstars with her, that's fine. Women can do that. But she needs to kind of go back to singles wrestling as well.
She has been. She has been.
She has been. I think a bit
Honestly,
more.
I'd rather have her not be known for just clinging to guys.
Exactly, that's my point. She shouldn't be known for just clinging to a guy. That's just my opinion. After the match, we get replay. Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn won, by the way, with the zigzag, as he should have. I think Dolph Ziggler needed to win this match after the treatment he's been getting for the past few weeks. After the match, we get replays, and we come back, and Ziggler raises Caitlin's hand in celebration. We go backstage to SummerSlam, host The Miz, Fandango, and Summer Rae come dancing.
By the way, how far The Miz has fallen?
How far The Miz has fallen. You know that theory I had that Alex Riley had hit Vince McMahon with his car? I'm now saying that that's The Miz that's done that. Because, wow, has The Miz fallen. When Alex Riley's doing better than the guy that taught him, that was his master on NXT and was tagging with him. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You're doing bad, Miz. You're doing really bad. I believe...
he's not even featured anymore. He's just a fucking personality
he's a host.
again.
He's a personality. Put him back on MTV if you're not going to use him.
Yeah.
Seriously, go back, honestly, go back to the MTV gimmick. Make him Mr. MTV. Make him just a complete and utter douchebag. Go back to the way he was originally. Because people liked him with that gimmick. I liked him with that gimmick.
Honestly,
I think he needs to go back to
he was kind of shitty at first because he just lacked promo skills.
He does not work as a face at all. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where there are certain wrestlers that unfortunately
they work better when they're dickbags.
I mean,
they work better when they're a douche. Yes, they are. There's some wrestlers that.
But not just that. I think it's like he doesn't. Right now, at least, he may need some more work before he can become a real good face. But it just seems like right now he's incapable of being a good one.
Yes.
I can't think of other examples of people who can only be good heels.
Who can only be good heels? Well, if you go back in the day, Ted DiBiase Sr.
Yeah.
There's no way he could have been a face. Jake the Snake wouldn't have worked as a face. Don't know if he ever
started as a face.
Actually, he had, but he was a face.
He was better as a heel, though.
Dude, he could mind fuck people as a heel. It was amazing.
So much better as a heel.
He had an awesome theme song.
Dolph Ziggler is a lot better as a heel than he is as a face.
Yeah.
He's not actually that bad.
He's not bad. He's not bad as a face, but he's better as... It's the same with Shawn Michaels. I don't mind Shawn Michaels as a face, but as a heel, he's... amazing. I love heel Shawn Michaels. My favorite version of Shawn Michaels.
Ziggler, he just plays the perfectionist asshole, like, perfectly.
I know, honestly, I know people make the Billy Gunn comparison with Dolph Ziggler because of their similarities in looks. But honestly, when I watch Dolph Ziggler, I think of Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, me too, actually. He's more Mr. Perfect than his son.
He is really more like Mr. Perfect than he is Billy Gunn, and especially in his promo skills as well. The way he cuts a promo, it reminds me of the way Mr. Perfect was as a heel. When, like, Dolph Ziggler is a heel and Mr. Perfect is a heel.
Oh, yes, you know I'm better.
You know I'm better than you, and the douchebag assholes, just cocky heels that they were. And the way he wrestles, he really reminds me of Mr. Perfect. And the hair as well. So, you know, when you think about it, the long blonde hair and everything, he's Mr. Perfect in my eyes, reincarnate. More so than Billy Gunn.
Although it does bother me that they've kind of if you think about it, it should bother you to the fact that they've kind of stuck with that hair, that they never let it, that when they started that character, they kind of have not let him go with his natural hair color. Because,
remember that one time he showed up with natural hair?
Because it can't really be good for his hair what he has to do to pull it off.
That's true. I mean, even whatever his color hair would be, he still reminds me of Mr. Perfect, the way he wrestles.
I think he's brown-haired.
I mean, he is, and you're right, he is more like Mr. Perfect than his son is, but,
Actually, I think he has black hair.
No, because he showed up one time he got his hair cut or something, and it lasted like 2 weeks.
It's just the way he wrestles, the way he...
I remember that, and I remember it being black.
I don't know, it doesn't matter. Whatever color his hair actually naturally is, whatever color he came out with, he'd still remind me of Mr. Perfect just because of the way he wrestles and talks, and technically gifted as Mr. Perfect was, and technically gifted like Dolph Ziggler is. They're very similar in my eyes.
Also, he went a long fucking way from being Chavo Guerrero's caddy.
Oh, he went a huge way from being Chavo Guerrero's caddy.
And a long way from being
Spirit Squad.
Nikki!
Yeah, the male cheerleader.
Nikki! He still gets reminded about that by some people, and he's just like, seriously? You can't let that go? He's gone a long way from being Nikki and a caddy, so good for him. We go to the panelists. HBK predicts Bryan will win. Vicky and Booker also
I love the freaking
Bryan.
contrast of everyone wearing a suit and Shawn Michaels just wearing camo things.
Well, Shawn Michaels, it's the way he's always been. Everyone predicts that Bryan will win. HBK says it's been a phenomenal show, and thanks them for the Punk versus Lesnar match. I'm sure HBK actually would have enjoyed watching that. You see, now I just want HBK versus CM Punk now. I just want that. Then we go to D-Bry versus John Cena.
Really good.
Really good match. Really good match. Not as good as Punk versus Lesnar.
Not quite as good as Lesnar and Punk, but
Cena has
still
a really weird trait.
What?
And I say this over and over, but I still think it's true. He can only wrestle about as good as the person he's wrestling with.
Yes, he is only as good as the person he's in the ring with.
Like, he's not getting carried, but for some reason, he only works better when people are better.
I totally agree with that. He is only as good as the person he's in the ring with. Because when you look at Cena versus Rock, you look at those two matches, they were god-awful.
They were fucking terrible, but with, like, Bryan, they're good.
They were fucking terrible.
They were good.
Yeah. Cena will go down in history as having some of the worst WrestleMania matches 2 years in a row.
Like, you look at those Rock matches, terrible. People were leaving in the second Rock match. People were walking out of the arena because they were that bored of that match. Okay? You look at his matches with Randy Orton, there's a reason people say that's one of the worst rivalries of all time, because they were so boring together, and it had happened so many times. Randy Orton
that was definitely during probably one of the worst phases of Orton's, just not going through the motions, not giving a shit,
not giving a fuck, and then you can go to the other side of it, and you see his matches against Punk, and you see his matches against... If I was encountering John Cena for the first time, and let's say the first match I saw was him versus Rock, I'd say, I never want to see another match with this guy in it again. And then if you would be like, no, watch this, and you sat down and you forced me to watch him versus Punk, or him versus D-Bry, I'd be like, there's no way that happened a year before or a year after. There's no way. I'd be
really
like,
strange. It's like nobody else is like that. He's only as good as the person he's wrestling.
That can't be the same guy, can it? No way. And it's like, yeah, John Cena. I'm like, how? How does that work?
And they had a really good match. So
they had a really good match. It's Cena. He was as good as Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
It makes no sense how he can do this, but he can.
You think he'd have like a level he's at, but no, it's just he wrestles roughly as good as the other guy.
He wrestles roughly as good as the other guy. So if he's in the ring against a shitty guy, expect a really bad match. If he's in against a great guy, expect a good match. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't get it at all.
And I have to say, I really do. I am really getting tired of the fans shitting on Cena, especially when he's in a match where he's doing well.
When he's in a match, when he's doing well.
I mean, if you want to chant the typical stuff that you're going to chant Cena, chant it during a match where he is sucking.
I still
chanted at the man when he's actually, you know,
as well as the legitimate reasons not to like Cena, there are
when he's actually wrestling his ass off, you know.
Yes, although there is legitimate reasons to not like Cena, it's gotten to a point now where it's just a bandwagon. Right? It really is. It's the biggest bandwagon in wrestling.
I just
jump
don't
on.
want him to wrestle with bad wrestlers because that's just bad matches.
Yeah, that's honestly it. I don't mind him.
I have a lot. I still don't generally like Cena as a. I don't like his character. I generally speaking don't care for his wrestling. His moves sucks. I still think that.
His move, yes, I agree on all those points, but I'm just saying it's gotten to a point now where hating Cena, it's just normal to do. It's cool to hate Cena.
But it's like you don't. There's times where Cena does stuff that you go, oh.
Yeah,
that was really cool, Cena.
It's just gotten cool to hate Cena.
Hey, that was
Cena
awesome.
showed a lot of fucking variety in this match, actually.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, dude, it's gotten cool to hate Cena.
And I don't understand.
Because it's gotten cool to hate Cena right there. That is honest. That is it. It's just
Nathan does the same thing whenever Cena does like a promo. It's like even when Cena can act, because Cena can pull out a good promo when
I like his.
Sometimes.
I like his legit.
And Nathan still goes. And Nathan will still say it's still a Cena promo. I'm like, Nathan, come on, you can't.
Honestly, my favorite Cena promos are like his From the Heart Real Talk promos, where he's just like, okay, I'm not gonna have any fucking games. I need to talk about this.
See, I like it when there's those promos where you think he's being serious, and then out of nowhere he'll bust out a kiddie joke, and it just ruins the entire thing. Because he's done those promos where you think, oh wow, Cena's being serious. Like, for example, I'm totally ad-libbing here, but let's say he does a promo on Punk, and he's giving serious promos on Punk. Let's say he's giving this really serious promo on Punk, and then out of nowhere he'll just call Punk Cookie Puss. And be like, you had something.
Yeah, fucked it up.
You had something good, and then you just shit on it. He'll do that. He'll have a really good promo, and then he'll come out with these jokes and these comments, and you're just like, you ruined it. You just, and that's why I don't like him. Is because he does have talent. He has talent, and then he just goes and ruins it. He just goes and makes me dislike him.
I don't think he should ad-lib as much as he does. That's kind of one of the problems.
He just makes me dislike. When it comes to wrestling, it's like, yes. Like, he'll have a good match, and it's like, yes, I'm liking this. Cena's doing something different. And then, 5-knuckle shuffle, attitude adjustment, win. It's like, oh.
Besides his 5 moves of doom, when he actually uses other moves, the match tends to be pretty decent.
Pretty decent match. And, it was like, oh, we're going to get a decent Cena match here. And then 5 moves of doom come, and it's like, oh, nope, Cena wins, lol.
But,
never mind.
Yeah, the match was really good, and you actually think that just Bryan outplayed Cena in every corner.
Bryan outplayed Cena in every corner. It was... This is why I want Cena not to worry about being safe. He did a good match. He was varied. He was different. And the only reason people still hate on the guy is because it's cool to hate Cena. It's the biggest bandwagon to follow. I hate Cena because he was the champion for such and such a long time, and he always wins.
It's like you're not considered. It's kind of this thing of you're not considered a true. It's this sort of like this thing of a lot of people think you're not a real wrestling fan if you like Cena for any reason at all.
That is the thing that a lot of people will say.
Honestly, I think my favorite part was there wasn't any gimmicks or like a special reason why Daniel Bryan won. It was just he out-wrestled Cena, and he won.
He out-wrestled Cena. He won cleanly. Thank God. Because if he won by shenanigans, if he won...
Like, they even walked in saying that Cena might have an arm problem, but Cena walked up and said his arm's fine. So it wasn't his arm at all. Bryan just beat him.
Bryan just beat him. If it was shenanigans, if there was some reason that D-Bry won, you'd know they'd pull the angle that, well, he won by shenanigans. He didn't really beat Cena fairly. You know, and they'd still sell Cena as Superman. You'd know that's exactly what they'd do if he didn't win clean. I am so grateful, so thankful they let him win cleanly. That they did.
I mean, now, here's the thing about Cena. He does have a legit, like, elbow injury right now. And Bryan was actually attacking his arm, like the side, his injured arm. So I did like that they add
psychology. It makes sense. You don't go into a ring against a guy that has an ankle injury and not attack.
He hurt his ankle. Let's focus on his arm.
Let's focus on his arm. No, you don't do that. That makes no sense. You'd have fans like, why doesn't he attack the ankle? You know, it's like
there was some really cool, interesting spots in this match too. Like there was this at one point, Bryan like went for a hurricanrana, and then Cena came down. It was a really kind of dangerous looking spot. When you look at it closely, it wasn't. It looked bad at first, but it was like it was just one of those. Ooh, that could have been that could have ended bad.
That could have ended bad.
Honestly, like some of the shit Bryan did actually impressed me.
He almost did sort of a pile driver from the rope, but he not quite. He had like put him in a position where he could like get for a submission.
But yeah, like Bryan did some shit that like impressed the hell out of me, like legitimately.
And also Cena busted out a really good Batista bomb.
See, he's doing different moves and it works. I love the fucking thing that
there was this one spot where he did. I forget what Bryan did, but he threw Cena back off the ropes, and Don Bryan like hung from the rope in like a tree of woe position, pumping it, and then went back up. That was like, oh my god, that was awesome.
Like I said, some of the shit he did actually impressed me, like that spot. Also, the fucking finish where just Bryan kneed Cena in the face.
Yes, he nails that flying knee straight into Cena's face for the win. I'm like, oh, beautiful.
I'm gonna point out a flaw in Cena. He needs to fucking sell afterward. Like, when the match is over and everyone's like up and shit, Cena was like, okay, you just got kneed in the face.
Yeah, you know that the only thing Cena sells is merch.
So, honestly, I do think that he'd be a bit better if he was just like, I'm going to pretend I'm hurt after I'm done with this.
That's another reason I don't like Cena, because he doesn't sell.
Yeah, if he at least just like...
I said it before, and I will say this again. I really do. This is one of the things that bugs me. I don't get why... I really don't get. I guess I sort of get, and at the same time, I don't get why the legends like him for that specific reason. For the fact that he doesn't sell when he should. You would think the legends would go, "What the fuck are you doing, Cena?"
But yeah,
but
just
no,
like
they like him most likely
match.
because he's such a hard worker.
It is because he's a hard worker, and he's a good person, and he does all those things for charity.
After getting beat up the entire time, kicked in the face, and having your injured arm worked, at least hold your fucking arm,
Yeah, after the match, Cena and Bryan meet in the middle of the ring. Cena says something, extends his hand to Bryan for a shake. He also shakes hands with Triple H. He goes back as Bryan has the WWE title belt. He heads out the ring. Bryan's music hits and Triple H raises his arm. Confetti starts to fall. Bryan celebrates. Allow the yes chants continue. And then Randy Orton's music hits.
Yeah, Randy Orton fucked it up.
This made sense. how they did this.
This was
Was
fucking.
perfect.
This was bullshit, but it makes sense, and it gives Daniel Bryan someone new to face.
This is the only, and it's the most.
Well, it's not
it is
really new. It's not really new because he's faced Orton
New
before.
in the sense of he has something to do after he beats Cena.
Yeah, something to do after you beat Cena cleanly. Once you beat the guy who's the top of the company cleanly, you need something else to do.
And honestly, I'm kind of sad he didn't keep his title, but, you know, at least they're going to turn it into something.
They're turning it into something, yeah.
I'm trying to guess, and I think Bryan's going to face Triple H at WrestleMania. Like, he's going to win it from Orton, and then, like, because Triple H fucked him over, he's going to be like, I'm going to fuck you up, Triple H.
I don't know, but
I would not mind if Triple H had another had a match with Bryan. I would.
This was definitely the perfect way to turn both these guys heel, both Orton and Triple H. The perfect way.
By the way, thank fucking God that Orton's a heel again.
Thank the Lord.
I just hope that he actually gives a shit and just doesn't, like, go through the motions during, like, a huge feud with someone who's, like, Nova hot right now. Seriously, Daniel Bryan's fucking on fire.
Exactly. And this was the perfect way to turn both these guys heel. Because Orton wanted to be heel for a long time. He's wanted to be heel. This was the perfect way to do it. You got Daniel Bryan, who is hot right now. He's loved by all the fans in the audience, on the internet. Fucking
Daniel Bryan's the hottest guy in the company right now.
He's the hottest guy in the company.
That sounds really weird.
We know what everyone knows what we mean, though. In wrestling terms, everyone knows what hot means. He's the hottest guy in the company. Everyone loves him. Everyone's cheering for him. The yes chants. Everyone goes crazy for D-Bry. You got Orton, who wants to be heel, who's wanted to be heel for ages, and has done heelish things, but still gets cheered. This is how you turn this guy heel. You have him come out, you have Triple H, who people love, and would probably be hard to turn heel otherwise, and you have them both screw over the guy that everyone loves, that is the hottest thing in this company right now. That's how you do a great heel turn.
Yeah, you take a guy literally nobody dislikes,
and it's both. And if you think about it, both Orton and Triple H, this is their natural alignment is to be heel.
It is, and it worked because the fans went nuts. There were "this is bullshit" chants. They went crazy after this. What we're talking about after the match. Orton comes out.
I thought what was the IWC mainly. Actually, the crowd just kind of I thought had a really neat reaction. It was kind of like a stunned "what the hell just happened."
Didn't you hear that this is bullshit chants?
No, I didn't actually.
You hear that this is bullshit chants and everything. This is bullshit.
If you want everyone to hate Randy Orton, that's how you do it.
That is how you do it. That is how you do it.
Take a guy who's shit hot right now and you fuck him over and it's just like, well, fuck you, Randy Orton.
Yo, fuck him over. That's how you take a guy who everyone thinks, yes, he's beat Cena cleanly. Yes, he's the new champion. Yes. And then Orton, fuck, no.
Don't fuck it up. Oh, he fucked it up.
No. It's like, It's beautiful. It's the IWC overreacting. You having people thinking, oh, they don't want Daniel Bryan being the WWE champion because Vince hates Daniel Bryan being.
He beat Cena clean. He's in a good spot right now.
He beat Cena cleanly. He's in the best spot.
And Vince is high on Daniel. If you actually think Vince dislikes Daniel Bryan, that's the storyline. Vince is high on Daniel Bryan.
When you beat Cena cleanly, people are high on you. Okay? When you beat Cena cleanly, people are high on you.
Because I think, even The Rock had trouble beating Cena, and that was only because of bullshit.
Yeah.
At least not when it comes to good matches, but when it comes to superstar levels.
Vince in storyline hates Bryan. He might not be overly keen on Bryan in real life because he's not the image of a superstar that Vince likes, but he knows that D-Bry draws money.
Yeah, because Vince wants a big, muscly man, and Daniel Bryan's a scraggly hobo dude. But well, he looks like.
But still, I will say what I was saying to you earlier before the show started, and I still hold to this. If WWE wanted to give me a reason to hate the concept forever, for all time, and never want it to continue, at least not in its current form of the Money in the Bank briefcase, they just gave it to me.
Honestly, the Money in the Bank briefcase has always been kind of bullshit.
It's always been bullshit, but this is the definitive stamp on it. This is the definitive stamp of hatred for that concept. It needs to either change or be removed.
I still like the chocolate briefcase that Damien Sandow has.
Because it makes the title lose prestige. It makes the title meaningless.
Also, it kind of makes the crowd kind of apathetic. Because, look, they just got worn out fucking celebrating the shit out of Daniel Bryan finally making it. He made it, you know? And, like, everyone was fucking happy, and then just, like, this just pissed everyone off, even though they intended to do that.
There's got to be a better way to do sort of a thing that to make the audience hate what's happening, without ending in a bullshitty way. I mean, you want the audience to hate the heel, not the actual bullshit, like not actual like booking bullshit. You know, like the way they book the match to end or something. That's what you want.
Like it's not getting mad at the person. It's just like, why the fuck do they have this?
Exactly.
Why do they have this stupid briefcase thing?
And I totally understand. I get why the concept in theory is a good idea, because you're pushing people, basically, you're giving a huge push, for the most part, to normally people who wouldn't get it. But then, in like the past year, they let Cena win it, and now they let Orton win it.
But yeah. Like I said, it's bullshit, but I know what they're trying to do with it, and hopefully it's good.
Who had no real reason to be Money in the Bank winners. If he was gonna win another title, okay, I personally could argue against that, but at least just give him a normal match where he wins the title clean.
Like I said, what I would like to see would be the Money in the Bank gives you a free title shot, but you have to do it earlier, and like, let's just say, okay, you're going to have to do another match because he cashed in his Money in the Bank today. And then it would have been like Daniel Bryan having to choose between giving his all to beat Cena and conserving energy to fight off Randy Orton afterward.
Yeah, that would work so much better. It's like, you can't, if the briefcase just gave you the ability to choose what day you're having the matches, not like the exact time you wanted.
So it'll literally be like, okay, so he cashed in today, so you have another match. And it's just like, well, shit.
You're still taking advantage, but at least there's going of your opponent, but at least there's going to be a match.
Yeah, you know about it.
At least he's gonna have a chance to fight back.
Yeah, Orton came out, cashed in, Triple H nailed Bryan with the pedigree, and they both celebrated. And there's They already have a problem IWC picture made out of this, of the moment when Triple H raises Orton's hand with this just cocky, arrogant look on his face. Like, problem IWC? Man.
I like Triple H as a heel again, because it's been so fucking long.
But I'm just going to say this, guys. Are you ready for the most boring WWE Championship reign you've ever seen?
Look at this man. He's so uninteresting.
No.
Check it out.
Because that's what we're going to get with Randy Orton. The most boring WWE champion of all time. And he was boring the first time, but man, is he going to take that to a whole other level.
We hope he doesn't.
He will. Well, why will suddenly having a title make him give a shit? Why would suddenly having a title...
It's not so much the title, it's him being heel again.
Why would that make him give a shit? He's been heel and been boring. Look at all that... look at the Cena-Orton feud and tell me that was not the most boring feud you've ever seen.
He was with Cena.
But he was not giving a shit then either. Because he wasn't giving a shit. Randy Orton was good before the whole Cena-Orton thing, and then he stopped giving a fuck. He's not going to give a shit, guy. He's going to be he's going to be just as boring as he was as a face. Because the guy, he doesn't emote. He doesn't... It's the same shit every match. A Randy Orton match, every match. It's the same. With him, it's a case of Cena. It's a case of Sheamus. He does the same thing every match. It's boring. And this guy is our WWE champion. It's going to be the most...
And I'm astonished that people actually have been defending Orton lately. They're saying, oh, he had a couple of good matches. 2 or 3 good matches does not suddenly make Randy Orton good again. But plus, I still believe that he was carried to those fucking better matches that he had by better fucking wrestlers.
I gotta say, I think my favorite spot in that match, though, was the fucking slap fight. I love that.
The match started off really weird, by the way. It had this weird thing where Brian was on his back with his knees up, and they were like holding hands, sort of, and then Cena got on top of him with like his knees in his stomach. I was like, what the fuck was that? It's one of those things where it, like make you. It's one of those things where you actually you don't want someone else to come in the room, especially if there's one of those guys that have actually said, I've heard wrestling is a little bit gay. You don't want them to actually walk in and end up being right.
The thing that I need to stress to people about this pay-per-view is this isn't politics, this isn't backstage maneuvering, this isn't, oh, well, the fans love Daniel Bryan, we gotta cock tease him, we gotta troll them like there's no tomorrow, we're gonna give him the title, and then we're gonna take it right off him, and then we're gonna make him job for the rest of his life. No, it's not that. It's not Vince McMahon hating Daniel Bryan and deciding we're just gonna screw him over every chance we get. This is storytelling. And the fact that people can't tell that is a big problem to me in wrestling. Okay, it's not fake. It's predetermined. Everyone knows there's something behind wrestling because these people that are out crying, "Oh, Vince! It's because Vince hates D-Bry." You know there's something behind wrestling. Then you know it's predetermined. You know there's storytelling. What is so hard to believe about this? That there's a story being told here. That this isn't Vince deciding to screw over D-Bry. That this isn't the WWE deciding, oh yeah, D-Bry WWE champion. Yeah, right. Here you go, Orton. No, this isn't that at all. This is, we realize that D-Bry is going to need a story here. And the problem that WWE has had so many times in the past is they've given the title to a guy when he is red hot, and then he does nothing. Look at Punk in the past. He was red hot. People were cheering him over people that were so much more popular. Didn't give him the title. When they did, nothing. He gave it up. He was a placeholder. And then later on, they actually found stuff for him to do. It's what they want. If Bryan had just beaten Cena and won the title, what was he going to do? Who was he going to face? Can't face Punk. Punk's in his storyline with Brock. Dolph Ziggler?
The only thing that would make even a modicum of sense is maybe a rematch with Cena?
Maybe a rematch with Cena. But
that still doesn't completely make sense either.
That doesn't make sense, exactly. I think they were writing this. They got to this match and like, well, we want D-Bry to win, but where are we going to take him after he wins? Because they don't want to lose this guy's heat. This guy's got major heat right now. He's selling a ton of merchandise. He's got a ton of fans following him. They know if they drop the ball on the title run with this guy, that's done. That heat is gone. They want to keep that. They want to keep guys behind him, so they do what is smart. They have somebody turn heel for him to face down the line to get that title back, and then they've also got Triple H in the wings who could screw him over at any point, who could make life a living hell for him. It's like Austin and McMahon right here, and people aren't realizing it. They've got, not only did Austin have whoever Vince threw in his way, he had Vince to deal with as well. So he'd always have these obstacles to hop over. That's what.
And unlike McMahon, who would just completely get his ass kicked if he was in a match. If Daniel Bryan faces Triple H in a match, we could actually, then there's Triple H can fight back.
Triple H can fight back, exactly. We've got a match there that's interesting. This.
Not to say that the McMahon matches weren't entertaining.
They were entertaining, yes. But let's be honest, McMahon, not so good at wrestling. Let's get that.
Was just there to get his ass kicked. That was
he was just there to get his ass kicked. This is the most sense that you could have gotten out of this. Because you gave the title, the WWE title to D-Bry. Yes, we're all happy. D-Bry's the champ. Where would he have gone? What would he have done with that title? With everything that's going on right now, there wouldn't have been anybody for him to face other than Cena again. And as good as that match probably would have been, it's not what the fans would have wanted to see. So you can't have D-Bry have a title and have nobody to face. So you give him something to do. You have Orton, who has been wanting to turn heel. It's basic booking. We got this guy who's wanted to turn heel for God knows how long. We got these corporate guys, and everybody hates the corporate guys when they're heel. We got Triple H here, and there's a special referee. It's the perfect chance to resurrect this kind of McMahon and the corporate industry kind of storyline here. And give it to Hunter to run with it, because he can wrestle as well. And it makes sense because Triple H and Orton had ties with Evolution. So it's like, we got this guy who wants to be heel. We got this special referee guy who's a corporate guy, and when he's heel, everyone's going to hate him anyway because he's a corporate douche. And we got this guy that's completely hot. Perfect way to turn this guy that's wanted to turn heel. Perfect way to make this guy...
Especially because fucking Orton and Triple H had a history together, especially when it came to like Evolution. So they always had like each other in their back pocket. So it makes sense that they would team up.
Perfect storytelling. It's perfect crossover here.
There is one thing that, at the same time, it makes sense, but
don't get me wrong.
I have to bring
it's
up
still
the
bullshit,
fact
but it makes sense.
Orton did attack Triple H's wife
It's bullshit. Don't get me wrong. It's bullshit because it's Randy Orton. Because it's Randy Orton, it's bullshit. And because of the rule of, and because it being Money in the Bank, it's bullshit. But
I just thought there is one tiny bit that doesn't make it is kind of a little bit out of the blue for Triple H to suddenly like be supporting Orton, considering the fact that for a long time we knew he hated Orton's guts and the fact that Orton fucking attacked his damn wife.
That's true, but you know, heel turns and things like that. It could have been a whole thing between Vince and Triple H. You know,
also there's kind of the 1-year rule when it comes to wrestling that people tend to forget something after like 2 or 3 years.
It's a bullshit ending because of Money in the... But I honestly don't think you could have done this any other way. You really couldn't have done this any other way. I mean, what, you have Randy Orton suddenly challenge Debray for a title match, and then, well, okay, but that's probably a predictable route there. People had an idea that Orton would cash in. People thought Orton would cash in. And some people thought Triple H would turn heel. But not everyone predicted this. This is the best way you could have had a complete and utter swerve. Something that surprised people, got people out of nowhere. Because as much as the crowd, you know, some of the crowd did just react with utter hatred and despise for this, some of them were fucking gobsmacked that this had happened. This is old school way of making a crowd, working the crowd. Because Triple H and Randy Orton aren't just working the crowd. They didn't just work the crowd at SummerSlam. They've worked the entire internet community. Because they've made the entire internet community think this was just a complete and utter screw job. They have made everyone in the wrestling community on the internet that is a dumbass, and everyone in the audience think this was them screwing Daniel Bryan over. And they've become the perfect heels. Because Orton wasn't going to become a heel any other way. People were cheering him. They tried to make him heel. They kept cheering. It's like, oh, how else are we going to do it? This is how you do it. They have worked not only the crowd, but the entire wrestling community. And it's brilliant. I say it's bullshit because it's the Money in the Bank, and it's Randy Orton, and he's the most boring champion you could possibly have. But the way they pulled it off, it's the best way you could have pulled it off, and there's still some connotations because, you know, well, was Vince involved in this anyway? Were they just putting on an act between the whole McMahon family, making us think there was some inner turmoil there? And was Vince, are they actually all working together? And is the McMahon family going to be a big heel presence on TV anymore? What has the McMahon family got to do? What's Stephanie's position in this? Because she's married to Hunter. What's Vince's position in this? You don't know, and that's awesome.
I know what Vince's position is. The GIF I sent. Last one.
Yeah, I get it. But that's awesome. Because...
remember how we were just talking about how the fan, you know, that we were talking about the fans that hate that they hate Cena, the bandwagon fans. There's actually a comment on the bottom of the recap. There was actually someone who said the main event sucked because Cena was in it.
Told you, it's just a bandwagon thing.
All I know is whatever's happening next, Daniel Bryan better stand back. Stand back.
Daniel Bryan better stand back. Stand back! No, but it's been so long where I, as a wrestling fan, have been left guessing what's going to happen. Because so many times it's been like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I can predict that's going to happen. That's going to do this.
This actually wants me to, like, start watching wrestling again, so I'm going
This has left me wanting... Yeah, this has left me asking questions and wanting to watch some more. Because I don't know are the McMahons even involved in this? Was this all just Triple H and Randy Orton?
Okay, this is where I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is a worse comment than the typical Cena hatred. Someone actually said this. I said that Daniel Bryan isn't ready to be champion and not sure if he is ready to be carrying the company. I also said he has no charisma. Looks like the WWE agreed with me.
What?
WWE making Daniel Bryan get a short range shows that they agree as well. He is not ready to carry the company.
Bullshit.
Fuck you, buddy.
They're trying to give him even more
momentum. Whoever wrote that comment, if you're listening to this, I want you to slap yourself. I want you to listen to how people react when that man comes out into the arena. He is ready. Okay? He is the hottest person in the company right now. He has gotten a reaction that they wish they could get out of Cena these days. That they've been trying to get out of Cena for years. For years they've been trying to get that kind of reaction for somebody. For anybody. And they've got it with this guy. They've let him cleanly win over Cena.
Who is currently the fucking guy.
Who is the man. And in the words of Ric Flair, to become the man, you have to beat the man.
And honestly, I think after this storyline, if they let happen what I think is going to happen, Daniel Bryan's going to be the guy.
Daniel Bryan has beat the man. Okay? He is ready. And WWE obviously believes he's ready to let him win cleanly over Cena. That is a big deal. Okay, to win cleanly over Cena. Because if they don't want you to win cleanly, if they don't think you're ready to carry this company, shenanigans. Shenanigans will ensue. Because they don't think you're ready. They think he's ready, he won cleanly. The only reason this has happened, this whole thing's happened, is to make a story, is to give Daniel Bryan something to do, because he'd have had nothing if he had kept that title. He would have had nothing other than, well, I got Cena to rematch. Yay. Happy times. Let's just do that again. Even though that's pretty much a clear set ending to their story. You got this, and this is perfect. I want to watch again because of this. Are the McMahons involved? I don't know. They had this big whole turmoil. Was that just an act? I don't know. I like it when wrestling makes me ask questions. And I have not asked a question about a story.
Honestly, I love it when anything makes me think of theories.
Yes, I love that. And this is doing that. And I hope it goes well. I hope this story goes well. Because there's a chance that you can just roll with this thing. You can have another whole corporation kind of thing. You could run with that. You've got possibilities of doing a whole second incarnation of the Austin McMahon storyline between Triple H and D-Bry. You've got all sorts of ways that this could go, and it's wonderful. This is what I've missed from wrestling, the idea that it could go so many fucking ways. And I like that. And the fact that people have gotten so jaded, and so, I mean, we're cynical, yes, but we know when it's not political. We know that it's not, let's just bury Daniel Bryan. The fact that people have gotten so jaded and so cynical to a point where
you can't really say they gave Bryan the shit end of the stick if he fucking beat Cena clean.
You know, where even when the guy beats Cena cleanly, they say, well, it's Vince McMahon hating Daniel Bryan. It's Vince not liking people like Dan. It's because he loves all the big guys. Yes, he loves the big guys, but
if he didn't like Daniel Bryan, he would have made him look like a bitch. He would have fucking curb stomped Daniel Bryan.
Yes, Vince loves the big guys, but there's one thing Vince loves more than big guys in wrestling, and that's money. And he knows
Daniel Bryan is where the money is.
Is where the fucking money is. He knows that. He's not a dumbass. He knows where the money is. Okay? And he's going to go where the money is, and he's going to roll with it. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's taken D-Bry, said, let's make some fucking money.
I see a fucking common occurrence, by the way. It's always like, there's always a guy that, like, Vince didn't personally push, but it's just like, It's just like, this guy's making me a shit ton of money.
This guy's making me a shit ton of money. Let's put him in. Yes.
I think it was Shawn Michaels was one of those kind of guys.
Shawn Michaels was one of them. He wouldn't have gone with Shawn if Shawn wasn't making him money. No way.
Totally. He would have just told Shawn to fuck off if he wasn't making him money.
Because the trouble that Shawn brought with him, Vince would have booted him out immediately if Shawn wasn't making him money. He would have gotten rid of Shawn very quickly if Shawn wasn't as good as he was and making as much money as he was for that company. Hogan, the only reason Hogan was on top for as long as he was, because he was where the fucking money was. He brought money. Cena
he had no fucking talent whatsoever, but he brought the money.
He brought the money. Cena for so long has brought the money, and you saw that moment where Punk kind of overtook Cena. That's because Punk oversold Cena in merch. So Punk was where the money was at there, so we go with Punk. And now D-Bry, he's the hottest thing on the market. We'll go with him. He's bringing money. They're like, well, he won't bring money if we give him the title and he's got nothing to do. Let's give him something to do. It will bring some fucking money. Because now people are going to pay to see D-Bry kick the shit out of Randy Orton and Triple H. People are going to pay to see that. They're not dumb people. This isn't political decisions. This is business. This is money making. This is how WWE makes their money, by working you, making you hate these people, and pay to see them get their asses kicked. This is how they do their business. And the fact that you think that this is just because Vince hates D-Bry, you are dumb, sir. You are incredibly dumb. What has happened to just watching wrestling and enjoying it? This is classic style storyline of WWE. I like it. I've not seen a storyline like this in ages, where I want to watch the next week. I want to see.
I mean, we've been through way. If you go back, if that person is listening, I want you to go back and listen to the previous C shows, where we had to go through the shit that WWE was going through, where it was like squash matches constantly, and wrestle and 2 years in a row of the worst 2 years in a row of shitty fucking Orton and Cena matches.
I have been through.
Go back and listen to that, and then tell me that this is anywhere near as bad as what we had to go through.
I have been through some of the shittiest years in wrestling.
Because honestly, that's like one of the most classic storylines. Good guy gets fucked over, goes out on a streak to put all the bad guys to justice.
Exactly, that is classic storyline. That's classic heel versus face, and I'm so glad that's what they went with here. It looks like that's where they're going with this. I can't wait to see where they go with this, because it looks like it's going to be a classic heel versus face storyline, and it's been so long since we've had something like this. And the fact that nobody can... people are so stuck up, think that they're so smart, think they know the business in and out, to just shit on it is so dumb and so retarded. You don't know anything if you think this was politics. You don't know anything. This was business. This is to make them money. Because you know, as much as you're complaining, as much as you say, oh, I ain't going to watch WWE again, blah, 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 you're going to pay to see D-Bry kick the shit out of Orton and Triple H. Of course you're going to pay to see D-Bry kick the shit out.
And unlike the WrestleMania match, which, yes, it was to make money. They were doing that, but at least here, yes, they're making money, and they're giving us some while giving us something good. Instead of listening to the idiots that actually wanted Rock versus Cena.
Twice. The idiots who wanted it twice. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same people complaining about this who wanted Rock versus Cena twice. I really wouldn't. These people think they know the fucking... These are smart marks right here that are oh, does Vince hate D-Bry? No. fuck you. You can say that you're not going to watch WWE till the cows come home. I have said previously that I'm not going to watch WWE, and I stuck to my guns. And the only reason I started watching again was for this show. And I'm so glad I started watching again for this show, because I've seen some interesting stuff happen. WWE is going in a good direction right now. Yeah, they're making a few fuck-ups here and there. They're a business that's going to happen. It's wrestling. Companies have always made a few fuck-ups here and there. Okay, since the dawn of wrestling time, of wrestling companies, they've made fuck-ups here and there. But they're going
it's the nature of the business. Sometimes you try things out and they just don't work. You may have the best, and you may have a really, really good idea, and it just doesn't pan out.
But I think this is going to pan out because of the reaction that they've had. This is probably the reaction they wanted. They knew that they know they might not acknowledge the internet fans as much as we'd like them to, but they know those internet fans are out there, and they know exactly what they're saying. They know that D-Bry is loved by all on the internet and in the crowds. They know exactly what the internet says about D-Bry and what they want D-Bry to succeed. They're not dumb. So they do the smartest thing. They have the good guy get screwed over by a couple of guys turning heel, and a perfect way to turn guys heel. And these people that are saying, no, we're not going to watch WWE now because they've just screwed over my favorite wrestler, they screwed over D-Bry. You're going to watch. You're going to watch. Because
you're fucking lying
you are
to my face if you honestly think that you're not going to watch.
You are going to watch because you want to see D-Bry beat their asses. You want to see D-Bry win the title. You want to see D-Bry go up against Randy Orton and Triple H, the guys that screwed him over, the people that you're going to hate with a fiery passion now, by the way. A lot of people are going to hate with a fiery passion now, which is good. That's how you do heel. You make them hate them. That is what a heel is supposed to be. And you want to see the shit out of them. You will pay to see that. That's how this business has worked since the dawn of WWE. That's how it's worked.
Since the dawn of its existence.
That's how it's worked. People paying to see the bad guys have the shit kicked out of them. And every now and then a bad guy will come out and win, and a bad guy will come out and overcome the good guys. That's to pull you in. There's probably guys since the dawn of time. Fans that say, I'm not going to watch again. My favorite guy, he got screwed over. You would watch because you want to see that guy overcome what you believe is them being screwed over. That's how wrestling has worked the audience forever. And the fact that you people still can't see through that. I can see that this is them working the audience. And I can see that this is them wanting to make some money here, having a great storyline, giving D-Bry something else to do, because he wouldn't have had anything else to do if he won the title. I can see that, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing that I can see that. It's just because I can see that's what they're going with here, at least that's what I think they're going with here, that they want to make some money. They wouldn't have made money much other way if they had D-Bry face Cena again. So let's have a classic heel face storyline here. Let's piss off the internet fans. Let's piss off the D-Bry fans by screwing him over, giving these two heels that will just be absolute. They'll be the devil in so many people's eyes. These guys will be despised by so many people, and you're going to pay to see them get the shit kicked out of them. Don't tell me you're not going to watch wrestling. Don't tell me you're not going to want to watch D-Bry come back after this and beat the hell out of Orton and Triple H, because you are. If I was as dumb as these people, and if I was, I'd still tune in, because yes, I want to see D-Bry come back from this, and it's exactly what I want to see. I'm going to pay. Depending how they build up the next pay-per-view. Might be the first time I pay for a pay-per-view in a long time, if they build this up right. They deserve my money if they do this well. They really do. And my message to all of you fans out there is don't take it so seriously. Don't think that it's people trying to screw over someone that you like because they don't want you to enjoy wrestling. No, they want you to enjoy wrestling, but they want to tell a story while you enjoy it. They want you to hate somebody. They want you to like somebody. They wanted to give you somebody to root against, and they wanted you to give somebody to root for. They wanted a hero, and they wanted a villain, and that's exactly what they've given you. 2 villains and a hero for you to root for, and hell, it might be more than two villains if the McMahons are involved in it, because Stephanie, don't know what she's going to be saying about this. Vince, no idea. It could be McMahon and Austin all over again, and that's awesome. And people have asked for that for years, and if they get it, now they're going to start complaining about it? Fuck you. Stop taking it so fucking seriously. Sit down, enjoy it, watch the story, see how it unfolds, and when D-Bry let's say if he wins, let's say if D-Bry loses the next pay-per-view. I'd say he loses the next pay-per-view. He still wouldn't be made to look, he still wouldn't be hated by Vince McMahon. The only way your idea of this guy hated by Vince McMahon is if he turns into a jobber within like 2 weeks. That's the only way that your comments have any foundation to them, is if he turns into a jobber. And I doubt they're going to do that to him. I highly doubt they're going to do that to him. Stop taking it seriously. Sit down, watch it, enjoy it. You know you're going to pay for it. Maybe not pay for it in the sense of pay for pay-per-view, but you're going to buy D-Bry shirts. You're going to buy D-Bry merchandise if you like D-Bry. Because you want to see this guy succeed. And it's exactly what you're going to see. I imagine, in the end, yeah, you'll have moments where you're like, oh, the bad guys are going to win. You're going to have moments like that, because you need moments like that. But eventually, good overcomes evil. That's how wrestling has worked since day one. And that's how it's going to end. D-Bry eventually winning. But I want to see what happens between now and then. And that's what I'm going to enjoy, is the story between now and then. Between the now and the end, which we will see D-Bry eventually overcoming these guys. But this has wanted no excuse to stop watching. If anything, it's giving you an excuse to keep watching wrestling. I'm going to keep watching wrestling. And I think this was a good pay-per-view. I think Punk versus Lesnar was the match of the night, without a doubt. I think Cena versus D-Bry was second in that matches of the night, and I think D-Bry has proved himself to the McMahons, to Triple H, to everyone that may have doubted him, and cleanly beat Cena, put on a great match, and we've got a story now that we can follow and enjoy, and we've also got Punk and Lesnar with their story. We've got multiple stories we can enjoy and follow. We got some heels that we can actually see a reason to hate, and a hero for us to follow. It was a great pay-per-view. I loved it, and I want to see what they're going to do next. That's my opinion of it. You guys go ahead and talk, because I've ranted.
Yeah, at least now, I don't hate. At least now, I can hate Orton as a heel instead of just hating him because I don't. Exactly. Because I don't like his character and his wrestling.
Exactly. That's. What did you think of Summerslam overall, Rockton?
I was gonna say, like, out of 10.
I think it's up there for a contender of pay-per-view of the year, honestly.
Out of 10? Ooh.
I'd go for an 8. I thought it was really good. It could have been more amazing, but it was still really fucking good. I
would go 8, and it has definitely been the best pay-per-view so far.
I normally don't give it don't like giving something a number. I'm going to give it a 7.
7, above average.
I give it 8 because it was a good pay-per-view.
Alright, I'll go 7.5 because I want to be in the middle.
I'm sticking with 8. It deserves an 8 with everything it's set up for the future, not just with D-Bry but with Punk and Lesnar as well. With the matches that it had, quality that it had, it was a good pay-per-view.
It's also setting it. There's also the setup of the Wyatts and Kane.
It was a good pay-per-view, and I think if you haven't seen it yet, it deserves to be bought. It deserves to be paid for. It was a good pay-per-view. I want to see what they do next. I'm very interested, which is the first time I've been very interested in wrestling for a long time. I want to see what they do next with all these storylines they have. I think everyone should just sit back and enjoy it. They really should. They should stop taking it so seriously.
Yeah. No.
So, this was the C Show. I was with that. I had a bit of a rant there at the end. I'm sorry, but some of these.
We've had a lot of long rants. We had a lot of long rants in the show.
But these fans that are complaining about this can go and shut the fuck up and just be wrestling fans, please. Just be wrestling fans, because honest to God, it's as good as it's the best it's been in a long time, and I'm loving it. I'm going to keep watching it. And this is me saying fans need to stop taking things so seriously.
This is Rockton saying Big E is I can see as someone selling car insurance.
Like car insurance. Hold on while I eat this sausage. Let's see.
And Ali, if you'd like to sign out.
I'm Ali, and I'm actually starting to feel a little better. So hey.
Yay!
I can actually talk with my normal speaking voice again instead of like.
Also, one more thing I want to say because I love this. You're a bitch. You are a bitch. Learn some grammar for Christ's sake.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bitch.